Russ Clark with you at Mortgage One Studios. It's Friday morning. We're going to start a disclaimer here. All content presented on the Russ Clark Show, including statements made by guest commentators and callers, reflect the personal opinions of those individuals and is provided for informational and entertainment purposes only. These views do not represent the official positions of Mortgage One Studios, its owners, employees, affiliates, or partners. Mortgage One Studios does not endorse, verify, or guarantee the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements made by third parties during programming. Good morning. I actually, you could think I'm crazy, but I felt like a little coolness in there. Yeah, what's got below 110. I actually felt pretty good to get out last night and walk around a little bit. Yeah, it was. I know it's still hot. Let me check real quick. It's 85 out right now. Felt great. Felt great. Must not be very humid. Yesterday highs was only 102. Maybe that's why it felt cooler, I guess. Today is 103. 106 on Saturday is going to get it back up to 110. Sunday, 113 on Monday, 113, 113, 112, stuff like that. But it's the right time of year for it. It's Yuma. Feels good. By Friday the 28th, could be down to 107. Back down to 107. So it's on track. We're about normal on that. Phone lines are open 928-344-5258. The let me see. Caller this morning. All right. Justice Department leaves in place ruling that deregulates silencer shotguns and certain rifles. Ask, mistake might be. Nope, I don't think so. And I know it's Dean and I have talked about that for quite a bit. And he could go more into that. Dean is he's an author on Ammo Land and writes extensively about guns and pays attention particularly to the legal issues and the Supreme Court issues and how they handle all that and with the Second Amendment stuff. But silencers, of course, you see them in the movies used by assassins and all. That's really just not true. Apparently, not in real life. It's not. Silencers are very helpful. They're used a lot over in Europe and stuff. Just noise pollution. Hunters use silencers, which I've only had one silencer. I've never owned one. I mean, it's very expensive. The silencers. It was a weird story on how it got put in anyway. Shouldn't have been put in the first place. But silencers make sense. They do. I don't think it conceals, people that conceal guns and stuff, they're not going to have a silencer. It's just too big. It's just not the case. I know it looks good in the movies. But you still hear them. Even with a silencer, you still hear a gunshot. It's just, you don't need ear protection and such. It's a lot nicer. A lot nicer if you're going to fire a lot of rounds to do target practice. No, I don't think it's a mistake. I think it's the right thing to do. As far as sawed-off shotguns and stuff, it was just a ridiculous program in the first place. Short barrel shotguns. To make them arbitrarily illegal, just kind of weird. And rifles and stuff. It's a weird thing about rifles. They say the barrel has to be a certain length to be a rifle, and it's illegal to have a barrel that's short on a rifle for what reason, really? I don't know. I don't know what's ever been explained, and the only reason is it's more concealable, like a handgun, and you also can't have, at least most places, you can't have a shoulder brace on a handgun, and they make those where you can modify a handgun and put a shoulder brace on it, and the problem with that is it's too accurate. Who would want their gun accurate? It's so weird. So yeah, all those rules should be gone. They don't make sense. They don't make sense at all. We don't want accurate guns or rifles, and so it's just been silly laws that they've been on the books, and they're on there because they're on there, and they don't make sense. So yeah, they need to be gone. They do need to be gone. I'm going to start off talking about a little bit about the Iran because it's going on, still is. Amazingly. I think it's more amazing that goes on in some respects than what, Russia and Ukraine. Russia and Ukraine are on 4 years, and it was supposed to be just 3 days, and it wasn't just Russia touting that, it was the rest of the civilized world was said, "There's no way Ukraine could last more than that with the mighty army of Russia, the second largest, second most powerful army on the planet next to United States." And man, did everybody underestimate that. Everybody did. And they're still at it. It looks like Ukraine has an upper hand in a lot of respects. While they're still getting pounded at the same time. Nothing's good about it. But Ukraine, Iran, really going up America is much different than going up against Russia. I mean, the power of the Americans is far beyond the military. It's the financials and the ability to alliances and stuff that Russia just doesn't have. Russia can't do that. The banking stuff that they've done to Iran and withhold funds and cut off trade, stopping them from getting rearmed. Russia would love to have been able to do that to Ukraine, to blockade something. Heck, Ukraine sunk all their ships. Iran says they've sunk the Lincoln twice, but it's still floating. I don't think it's even got a scratch on it. But they militarily are failing, but they seem to be winning the war because they still exist. Isn't that weird? That's just a different bar of success. But anyway, German shipping giant is reporting a 73% drop in profits because of the Strait of Hormuz. Hapag-Lloyd, it's one of the world's largest container ship companies. The disruptions, traffic has caused that. Let's take a phone call from Gilbert. I'll get back to that.
Hey Russ, what's going on?
It's Friday morning. Actually, kind of nice out. It's only going to be 103 today. That's nice.
Yeah, I was outside doing my birds this morning, the rabbits and stuff.
They appreciate
85 degrees.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so some world news. You know, Russia had their own Vietnam and Afghanistan, I believe, correct?
Yeah, they suffered something similarly. Yeah, that what we did.
Yeah. And we've had a few our own. And now Russia is doing it all over, doing the same thing we're doing. They got involved with Ukraine, spending a lot of money, sending a lot of people to die.
Yeah.
Wasting a lot of money.
Yeah.
And for what?
Well, it doesn't look like a lot right now. In their dreams, they were going to take over that whole country and it was going to become Russia. And it's a very rich country in farmland and minerals and weather, access to the Baltic Sea, all of that stuff. Very rich company and all those things. It's the largest country in all of Europe. Yeah.
And the thing is, they want to spread their communism, right?
Yep.
Take over that. Well, they see it's not working in Russia. Communism is not working in Russia. I mean, they're still.
You're wrong in that they don't see that. We see that. They don't. They're too close to it. That's what they have, and it works. I mean, people eat. There's food. There's restaurants. There's stuff like that. But when you compare it to what we've got in capitalism, it's a failure. I agree.
Yeah, do they still stand in line for bread and stuff? Are they still?
In some places, I'm assuming right now, particularly because their economy is really smashed. They really took a hit.
And the black market is thriving, from what I understand.
Well, in a lot of parts of it, and like particularly Crimea, the black market on gasoline is thriving, and they're selling gas that doesn't work at high prices, and it destroys their engines. Really terrible stuff going on.
Right. So that's what's going on there. But I got some other stuff I want to talk to you about.
All right.
First of all, you know what season it is right now, don't you? Of course you don't.
What season?
It's the Little League World Series season.
Oh, well, I should have guessed because I know you are a fan.
Yes, and I missed a few days because being ill. But Arizona lost to Hawaii yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Which they're not going to Williams Sports. So, but we saw some great games last night. This young man, they call him the Dominator. He had 14 strikeouts. Russ,
Uh-huh.
that's a lot of strikeouts in Little League.
I think it's a lot of strikeouts anywhere. So yeah, that's good.
Right. Yes, and his average was 75 miles an hour.
Are you sure he's 14?
He's an American, so he
Okay.
has to be.
All right.
But anyway, we've got some great games coming up. But I thought I'd bring that up with
Good.
some stuff, good stuff.
Yeah.
And I guess they arrested that Mark Allen Spot, arrested for killing that missing teenager from San Luis.
I don't have
And
that in front of me. Okay. So I wasn't aware. I have
Yep,
some other
and
stuff, but I don't have that.
like he definitely looks like a weirdo. I'm glad they posting pictures of these criminals now.
You know,
And
most people that they post that are criminals do fit the role when you look at them. I mean, most of them do. I don't know what that is.
this guy definitely feels. He definitely
Yeah.
fills the role. Absolutely. She was 15 years old. And we also have cattle being stopped from Mexico, being halted for caution of the new world screw worm. Did you hear about that?
I did not. Explain that to me.
Well, I guess they spotted a new screw worm coming in from cattle from Mexico.
Okay.
My dogs are talking to my neighbors.
You like that as a good. Okay. Wow. That dog's nice. Yeah. To the neighbor.
Quiet. Los ojos, cállate la boca. They're bilingual too.
Spanish. Okay, good.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we got they're stopping the exports or imports from Mexico because the screw worm. I saw a little bit on.
I had heard about that screw worm. It's starting to show up a little bit here. It has been, and I guess it's a big problem. From what I read though on the cattle farmers, they say just diligence watching the cows, you can stop it from spreading. Apparently, they show signs of the fly of infection, and plenty of time to stop it from being a danger and fatal to the cows and all that kind of stuff. But apparently, they don't take care of it as well outside the country.
I was listening to you yesterday on the water thing. Now, Yuma has the last rights of the Colorado River.
Well, the first rights, the strongest rights.
Yeah, we have the strongest rights. We are the last. And what I'm trying to say, we are the last that it should interfere with the flow.
Theoretically, yes, correct.
Because 1902, we had the treaty.
That sounds right. It was before we were a state. Yes, correct.
Right. It was. But with all this new legislation, we can lose that.
No, I don't know. The lawyers are fighting for it every day and always, but they can't just take it from us. It's a treaty with the federal government. Or the legislation in the United States isn't going to make any difference. Or in Arizona, you can't legislate it out. You can't steal it theoretically, but lawyers will do what lawyers do, and they'll say, "Take it and sue me, and I'll see you in court." Whatever. And there's always agreements to barter at times. We've given some things just to be nice neighbors, I think. But we do have the strongest rights, and if we follow the federal law, which is what the proposal is right now, it's very harsh to Arizona, but that's not Yuma, Arizona. That's mostly Phoenix and Tucson because they're members of the CAP, Central Arizona Project, and they have the weakest rights are the Central Arizona Project.
Theoretically, Phoenix should dry up long before Yuma dries up.
Correct. Theoretically, they could run out of water totally, and it still wouldn't affect us. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, and the other thing you guys were talking about, making shoes in the U.S. The reason they quit making shoes in the U.S. is because all the union shops, I well, I want to say cost us.
Yeah.
The shoes would cost us a lot more money because of the union, and that's why we left and went to China, Taiwan, Vietnam, and yada yada yada.
Sure.
And that's why we're buying shoes from
Well,
them.
I think you're right. I think the unions had their hand in making it more expensive, and the businesses got used to dealing it in a certain way, and they didn't innovate, they didn't do it. But today there's so much more robotics, innovations. We got states that are right to work states where unions aren't involved. It's still more costly, but you save all
Yes.
that transportation cost, and now with the tariffs on top of it, the tariff cost, it's looking very favorable. And there's nothing wrong with making shoes. And I know the left has laughed about it at times. Says, well, there's a lot of things we don't want to make, like shoes and stuff. We'll let them make the shoes. We'll do other important stuff. That's just a ridiculous way to look at business. That's silly,
Well,
and that's a good way to lose your butt.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're right about automation. We lost a lot of our labor force because of automation.
We've redirected our
good.
labor force. Automation's been
Yep.
going on for 100 years or better, and it continues. And there's more automation in different places, but we still have
Mhm.
very low unemployment by all comparisons, like what 4.2% right now. Even with
Mhm.
automation, and automation is huge. Look at Walmart, McDonald's. You know, and well, Walmart has self checkouts. McDonald's has kiosk where you don't see a clerk and all that kind of stuff. And they've all employed fewer people, and we still have unemployment rates 4.2% because we find other businesses. In fact, AI is an opportunity, is a tool to make businesses more productive, but people still have to run it, and they work with AI. It's not autonomous at this point.
Right, but I see in Walmart. I don't know the name of the apparatus that goes by and does all the not stocking, but inventory. They got
I'm
they
not
got a machine that does inventory.
I'm not familiar with it, but I can tell you they got machines that do cleaning the floors.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They run around and clean the floor like big Roombas. They run around clean
Yeah.
floors. Yeah,
Yeah. Yep. And one more thing,
yeah.
and I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I'm thinking it's great.
Okay.
I guess the Catholics in Massachusetts wants the governor to be excommunicated at the most and have her not be able to receive communion in church because she signed that abortion bill.
Good for them. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Good for them. Is she a Catholic then?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It was disgusting the way that she and probably a couple dozen women around him were plotting like they just won the lottery because now they
Yep.
can abort babies at birth. It's just
Exactly.
disgusting. I was like, wow. And they say it's healthcare, it's healthcare, it's healthcare. What? It's healthcare? Really? Really?
And that's why I want the government
Yeah.
to give a definite interpretation of healthcare.
Oh, I don't think there's any bother with that because they'll just
But you
change
know
the
what I'm
terms.
saying?
The left will change the terms. We
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
it
yeah.
is, and we can tell that it's a stretch, and they are very good at it. No matter what you call it, they're gonna flip the words around for their own. I don't even understand what they're saying half the time because
I don't either.
the words are changing all the time. And
And one more
that's
thing,
another control thing. That's another confusion and chaos. But go ahead.
two more things.
Yeah, man. Okay.
I just got a phone call from North Kakalaki. That's
Oh,
North Carolina for
oh,
you
okay.
guys.
All right.
All right. From a person saying that my Wells Fargo bank account has been compromised, that there was a $200 check trying to be cash in my account or out of my account.
And what is going to rectify that according to them? What did they need from you?
Well, first of all, I haven't had a Wells Fargo bank account since 1979.
Yeah, so you better take care of it. But what would they want you to send them money or something?
They wanted me to press a number.
Oh.
I didn't press no number. I just hung up.
Thank you. That's good. And that's what people should do is hang up. Don't give them your social security number. Don't send them money.
Don't even talk to them, to be honest with you.
Well, good. Yeah, you're right.
And of course, I got to remind everybody about tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock at Izzy's. Yuma County Supervisor Jaron Simmons will be there talking to us and meet and greet and have a good time with that. And then
that's
he
at
has a
that's
meeting
at
right after that.
8 o'clock.
8, sure, I say 0800 8 a.m.
I understood 8 o'clock
That's,
anyway.
that's for Dean. That's for
Yeah,
Dean.
I know. That's from
That's
Dean.
for Dean.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a beautiful day. We had a great sunrise
Oh.
while I was out there. And so far, there was no mosquitoes out there yet. It hasn't warmed up. But anyway, I'm going to have a good day. I want you to have a good day. God bless everybody. God bless America.
Thank you, Gilbert. You take care.
Bye.
And that was Mr. Gilbert this morning. Be careful of those mosquitoes. There was some reports of West Nile out there in Yuma. I don't know how much of it. It's okay. You don't want a mosquito bite one way or the other. Getting back to German shipping, 73% drop in profits from this one company. Total profit was only 83 million, down from 306 million last year. Because of higher bunker, insurance, storage, routing, inland transportation costs, it's all has to do with the Strait of Hormuz. Question for them. How come Germany isn't helping more with the problem in Strait of Hormuz? It's affecting the entire world. The Strait of Hormuz not being open, what Iran's doing and all that. And some of you that are anti-Trumpers could say, well, it's Trump's fault because it was fine until he decided to put his foot down and say no more Iran being the bully. Well, the reason people did that is because they were all afraid of Iran. Trump's not, and he wasn't going to keep putting up with it. The war they've had with us for 47 years, killing people through proxies and other things. He wasn't going to put up with it. So good for him. And why the rest of the world didn't join in to stop this is disappointing. I guess it's disappointing that they didn't. And there has been more assistance, more help going on. Little by little, and it's very little. But not only did they not help, they blocked the United States from landing. Not in Germany. Germany didn't, but England started. United Kingdom did at first, and Italy, Spain. Spain really got under Trump's skin. They all did, but not too much on the neighbors like Saudi Arabia and their United Arab Emirates and Qatar and stuff. We still have relationship with them and working with them. Turkey, but I don't know why more don't. And that's just one company losing that kind of money. That they're down 73%, and probably every company that does business on the planet has been affected because of energy costs and everything else. And that's what Iran wants. They're such a bully. If you don't give me what I want, I'll destroy the whole world. I'll destroy the world. And if we don't get a nuclear bomb to destroy the world, then we're going to destroy the world because we don't have a nuclear bomb. That's just the kind of hotheads we don't want to have their hands on it, I think. Iran posed is to ramp up aggression as midterm nears, and that's according to General Keane, Jack Keane. And he warned us on Wednesday, so it was Wednesday. He argued that Iran may believe President Donald Trump will be reluctant to take military action ahead of the midterm elections. I can only guess by that Trump has been patient. At first, I'm sure that most people thought, Iran included, that Trump had to finish it before the midterm elections, or it would be a bloodbath for the Republicans. It's proven not to be that true, really. We've kind of become complacent about it a little bit, kind of settled in. We hate the high gas prices. It's over $4 a gallon. Not happy, but we're kind of accepting it because of the cause and whatever, and hope that more countries get involved and help it out and cut it in. But during this time, Iran is really the one suffering. They're not feeding their troops. They haven't paid their troops in weeks, according to reports. They haven't been paid, let alone their proxies. They're drying up. And Trump's patient enough to say, well, we can wait it out. He's not in a big hurry politically. which I respect. We shouldn't do it politically. We should do it for the right reasons and hang on to it. No nuclear bombs. The strait's open forever. It's an international waterway, and if we gave into that, then China would do what they've been trying to do, and that's claim the China Sea as their waterway only, which huge amount of shipping goes through the China Sea. Can't start that president. We can't. General Keane says, when they look at this phase here and they see midterms coming, my gut feel is that they're likely going to get more aggressive because they don't believe the president will do much prior to the midterms in terms of military actions. Well, see, and that's kind of I guess, kind of a flip. They thought he would do whatever it took to get the whole to get it done so they could withdraw troops, get and say it's over. So now Jack Keane is saying they're looking at it, saying that they believe he might just sit there and do nothing until after midterms. Said, but they have miscalculated with him time and time again, and he's totally capable of shutting them down once and for all and crushing him with the ability that he has literally at his fingertips. And it says crushing him. I think crushing them is what they meant to say. We have the capacity in the region now. We have more capacity in the region than we had on February 28th, and it all is ready, so that leverage is there. It's his decision for sure. I don't know how much more capacity they had according to Jack Keane, it's greatly increased. I remember at the start of it, we kept waiting on more ships to get there. You know, they had the ships with all the Marines on it, and the ships with additional Harriers and all that, and they really didn't get there in time for the initial 10 days. They got there afterwards, and we thought there was going to be an assault on some of those smaller islands or something, which never was. I mean, a landing of some kind, never was. But they've accumulated so much more. They've reloaded. They've, I guess, more neighbors have opened up a little bit, although no one's really helping. Iranian sources told on Wednesday said there's no talks with Washington on extending the June interim agreement. Tron saw, and that's according to Tron, and nothing to extend with a 60-day negotiation period outlined in the memorandum of understanding fast approaching its August 17th deadline. So they're hearkening back to the memorandum of understanding, which I thought was a dead issue because it was completely broke so many times. But according to this article, that Tehran is saying that it's over with on the 17th, and maybe that's why Jack is looking at that they're going to trigger something. The other day they said they had that over 70% of their missiles ready. They had still all their drones. They did not, that the United States was not accurate when they said they knocked out the majority of everything. But they've been braggadocious all along and the whole time. Who knows? I think they still have stuff that can hurt you. They still have some missiles. They didn't get 100%. The United States didn't, but United States is saying somewhere around 20% left is all. And who knows if they have access to it? It should be some of it's buried in mountains and under rubble, or launchers have been destroyed. They were supposed to have like 400 launchers, are down to, I know they destroyed 300 according to their records. And of course, their Navy's gone. Their aircrafts are pretty much gone. They've got a few aircraft that popped up during a parade, but they hid them again real quick. They wouldn't last. They're F-4 Phantoms, a Vietnam era aircraft that would not stand any chance in the air if we were active at that moment. They would have just disappeared. Sitcom just put out a report yesterday regarding the USS Abraham Lincoln. Apparently, there were some rumors out there on social media that they're saying it's not true. Here's the claim. Over the past 48 hours, multiple media outlets have reported several false claims related to the USS Abraham Lincoln's CVN 72 deployment in the Middle East. One report alleges 7 sailors died in a brawl aboard the aircraft carrier, and others have recently suggested a spike in suicidal ideations. These are false reports, according to Sitcom. They all go on to say that they maintain among the highest crew reenlistment rates of 84.4% of all the aircraft carriers in the Navy. The sailors and Marines of the Abraham Lincoln's carrier strike group remain resilient and resolved after more than 260 days. It's a long time to be out to sea. I guess that's what they do, but long time. 10,000 aircraft flights, 1.5 million pounds of ordnance expended. No service member aboard the aircraft carrier have died. So they're saying 0, and that's a hard thing to cover up. 0 is a lot different than 7 that just died in a brawl, as well as suicides. Well, there was one sailor who fell overboard on August 3rd, was quickly and safely recovered. What do they do with a sailor who falls overboard after they recover him? I mean, do you have to go through some kind of remedial don't fall overboard class? Is it common? People fall overboard? I don't know. The rampant misreporting on Abraham Lincoln historic deployment is divisive, or I'm sorry, disservice to our men and women in uniform and their loved ones. I imagine that's true, especially if you have friends, family at sea for 260 days, and you read there's brawls with 7 deaths and suicides. Yeah, I'm sure that's concerning. Secretary of War Pete Hegg says, "We make sure every ship, every crew, every captain has everything we can provide them at every single moment. Some deployments are longer than others, and I have more respect and gratitude for those sailors than anybody. What they do in those high seas, in those austere conditions, with less port calls is incredible." I imagine. I mean, they're on that ship. I imagine there still can be rotations, I would think, of men in and men off. It's an aircraft carrier. They can fly transport planes of some kind in and out if they need to rotate people in and out to a degree, I would assume. So they're not totally isolated. They get off if they need to, if some kind of family emergency or something. I'm sure they accommodate some of that. Iran attacked 2 United Arab Emirates vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. It just doesn't stop with those guys. I mean, it's kind of like a daily thing, even during ceasefire. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the 2 vessels were affiliated with the Abu Dhabi National Oil Companies, a state-owned energy company and one of the largest oil producers in the world. Vessels were targeted in an unprovoked attack. According to the ministry, no injuries were reported. Citing United Nations Security Council Resolution 2817, the ministry described the attacks as acts of piracy by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. Resolution adopted in March demand that Iran halt strikes against Arab Gulf states and shipping lanes. Well, good luck with that command. I don't think it's been effective. And that's their neighbors, and they have they have asked the United States at times, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, have all asked the United States to pause the strike, stop the strike, and Trump has been listening because the neighbors are the ones going to have to take over when and if we leave. So it's good to work with them, but I don't know if it's patience, if it's idiocy, or what it is. There's a social difference, some kind of just cultural difference. I don't know. But they certainly are not ready to pull the trigger on these guys. Tell the United States to just end it. The ministry emphasizes that targeting commercial shipping and using the Strait of Hormuz as a tool of economic coercion or blackmail represents acts of piracy by Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps and constitutes a direct threat to the stability of the region, its people, the global energy security. UAE officials further urge Iran to commit to the complete and unconditional reopening of the Strait of Hormuz and called for the immediate cessation of all hostilities. Good luck with all that. That stuff has been going on forever. Iran has gone back and asked for reparations from the United States for all the damage that the missiles did on Iran's property. The gall. After all they've been doing for 47 years, the death to America, everything from the killing of Marines in Beirut, that back in the 80s, you remember, 200 some Marines. And I know, and that was just the start in 47 years of that, killing people through proxies and everything else, directly, indirectly. And they want reparations. I think Trump has asked for some back for the last 47 years. I mean, it's just a silliness and an arrogance that goes on with these guys. I don't know how. And I think the intent is not to be able to negotiate, not to be able to frustrate, and to exist. That's their win. If they exist, they win in their minds. We'll see how long it goes on. But that's not the first report I read that there's probably going to be a bigger strike coming on top of the stuff that we've already seen. It's been pretty devastating. It has been pretty devastating for Iran. I mean, at least the pictures, the videos. There are videos, and we do see them. We do see them out there. I was just looking at my comments real quick on the computer, making sure I'm not having technical problems. I think it's a good day. There's no technical problems, and they've all been mine, but we're getting better. Human man convicted of fatally shooting his friends is sentenced. I've read this a little bit in the past, but when it first happened, a 20-year-old Keith Simmons found guilty of negligent homicide, unlawful discharge of a weapon back in June for the August 24th death of a 19-year-old Eduardo Dominguez. Just horrific. He's 20 and his friend was 19, or maybe he's 20 years old now, but that was back in 24. That thing happened 2 years ago. He was originally charged with second-degree murder, testified the shooting was accidental. And here he says that he was handing the gun to his friend and the gun malfunctioned before discharge. Obviously, they needed a hunter safety course, a gun safety course. I think it's like rule number 1 you learn. Is it rule number 1? Never point the muzzle at anything you don't want to destroy. Don't even let the muzzle get into that direction. But kids handling guns, it shouldn't happen. Untrained, shouldn't happen. We're a free country. You can do stupid, but that's so terrible. He's going to serve 4 years in prison. That's it. That's what negligent homicide is. Man lost his life. He's going to do 4 years in prison. And 1.5 years for unlawful discharge. Now, that's going to be served concurrently, which means it doesn't add anything to the 4 years. It's just both will be served at the same time. Too bad. Just know those things happen. If you have a gun in the house, it's an obligation to teach everybody. I mean, everybody that has access to a gun should have training. That comes from the adults. It comes from dads. It comes from moms. It comes from adults. And then you lock them up to make sure kids don't get a hold of them. There's an age that you shouldn't have a gun unlocked in the house. Shouldn't be. And I had to do that when my kids got old enough to walk. Start getting that stuff off the ground and locking it up. Let's talk to Ted this morning. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning, sir. This is the angry old man, Ted.
Wow. Nice to start off the Friday like that. You should be calm. It's a weekend coming up. Although it doesn't matter when you're retired. So, okay.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Every day's a Friday and a Monday.
Yeah.
Since you're so in tune with federal, state, and local government, per se, your acquaintances that you have over the years.
Okay.
Can you explain to me why, when you and I were having a conversation the other day about the Chinese and our stealing our water in Arizona, Why is our governor now going after the Saudi Arabians for the same thing that you and I were discussing about the Chinese? We have enough problems here in Arizona that the beef tallow that she uses in her hair to get it to stay in place.
That's just mean, that is not
very mean.
That is just mean,
Well,
when the issue is
maybe
water,
she needs
not
to go
beef.
after the cattle industry for wasting water.
Really?
She is going after one of our semi-allies in the Middle East.
Now, wait a minute. She's going after cattle or just going after Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And the Chinese. Okay. She oversees what goes on in this state.
Right.
She's the head, I told you, the head law enforcement head.
She's the governor.
Honcho.
She's the governor.
Right.
Right.
And for her to come out straight up on national TV and blame or accuse the Saudis of stealing. She used the word stealing our water.
Yeah.
When they had been contracted, she allowed all this to go on. If she had a problem with it, she could have got involved in it, Russ.
Yep. Yep.
Is this just one more pandering little attitude from her?
Of course. She's in an election, so she's pandering to voters.
Who's she trying to, what votes she trying to get from insulting the Saudis that paid legal contracts, paid money, legal tender? Well, who is she pandering to?
The mob. Mob rules. And of course, there's citizens out there that are looking at the water shortage. So they're looking around to like, what can we do? And they look around and they see the Saudis are farming in parts of Arizona. And in farming, they're using water and they're taking those goods and they're keeping them. They're not selling it to anybody in Arizona to eat. They're taking those that hay and stuff and alfalfa and stuff they're growing and taking it back to Saudi Arabia. All legally, all on leased land that all was approved, and using water that's locked to the land that was approved. And they're saying, well, it's not fair because the citizens are in outrage. It says, well, they're not even American, and they're farming in our state. And how dare they, when there's a foreign country farming in our state, that's stealing water. And I think that's a stretch to say stealing water. I'm not saying we can't have policies that says, look, we're gonna claim that type of crop is not necessary in today's conditions or something, but that's not what we're doing. We're saying because it's Saudi. And the reason I get a little concerned about it is a great percentage of our crops, some crops, go overseas. Dates. Many of our dates go overseas, like 70, 80% go overseas. Seed farmers out here, there's a lot of seed farmers. Wheat grows seeds for a lot of the world. And those go overseas, and it's our water that grows those seeds, and then we sell it overseas. And same with citrus. I know the citrus farms here in Yuma, Curtis's, they go out to Japan. I know I talked to Rocky Curtis years ago, where he used to fly to Japan regularly to sell citrus, just tell them how we're superior in citrus. You should buy our citrus, our farming. And then we sell that citrus. We grow it here, and it's very juicy because it's got our water in it. It's got juicy water, and we sell it over to Japan. Should we stop that? Should we say, no, we're going to force everybody in Arizona to eat citrus, even if their mouths shrivel up? No.
Fair market.
It's a business. It's a business. It's a business. So I worry about it when we attack the Saudis. Are we going to say, okay, we're going to lock it down to where no agricultural products leave Arizona or leave the United States? What's it going to be? It's kind of but I understand there's a mob out there and the citizens say, well, we don't like the Saudis, because they were 9/11 guys. We don't like the Saudis. So let's get them to stop using our water for their own benefit, which they're paying us for. I mean, they buy the trucks here. They buy the employees. They put farm workers to work. They're out there harvesting. They load them up on airplanes. They take it out of here. And I wonder, why is that a bad thing? Well, it's a bad thing because water's depleted and people get crazy and they start looking at reasons.
You see what runs down the gutters here when the irrigation and people's front yards are on and stuff?
Are you saying?
I turned off. I blocked off all my irrigation that was put in this house for
we
the
can
yards.
we can
and I
definitely do
it
a
by
better job
hand.
of conservation. We can, and we can do
Yeah.
more desert landscaping. We can do a ton of things, and we're not really, Yuma is not as in trouble as CAP, which has got, they're a target because they got weak water rights. They're the last ones in, first ones to get
Right.
out. And, but politically, they're so powerful. Are we going to turn the spigot off to millions of people? And that's what they're going to say.
Oh,
well, we can't turn that off to millions of people. So we're just going to take Yuma's water. I mean, don't think that's not beyond them. I mean, we got 200,000 people in Yuma. I mean, the city, about what 250 or something in the county. And
Right.
they got millions. So
Right.
we can't fight them in some
Well,
ways. Legally, we're legal, but we may
Right.
lose the battle. Who knows?
I prefer her to spend her time, my time,
Yeah.
your time,
Yeah.
on more productive things in this state, preferably immigration, preferably helping the ag companies out to promote their technology to make this work a whole lot better and more efficient. I mean, that would be more.
Well, I want her to stay
her
out of
time
that.
more
No,
well spent.
stay out of it. I mean, our
No,
agricultural
I want her to
industry
help
is
because
wonderful.
I want her to help them. I want her to actually help them.
Okay.
Stand behind them.
Oh, okay.
Not get in front of them. Not make up
not
bullshit.
to tell them how to
Excuse me,
farm. Okay, understand.
Right.
Not to
Because
tell
she
them.
knows nothing. No, she knows nothing about it.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Or she wouldn't run the ads that she's running for.
Of course,
herself.
she's in an election time right now, so she's going to do stupid. And I think I think it's crazy to say that about the Saudis, but the people may look at it differently and say, good for her. We need our water. We can't give it to those lying, cheating Saudis. I just think that's horrible to say.
How do you that makes them think about us as allies?
Well, they understand.
How do you think that makes them feel? Calling them stealing?
Look,
next thing she'll say, oh, they wear towels on their head, dish towels and stuff.
They're not going to, she's not going to do that.
What's wrong with her then?
She's not going to do that.
I don't put anything past her when it comes to politicians.
But because she sees what the mob's saying, she says, well, I want that mob to vote for me. So she's just mimicking what she hears from that voting block. And that voting block says, get the Saudis out of here. They're stealing our water. And she says, oh, write that down. And their next speech says, get the Saudis out of here. They're stealing our water. So she feels like she's relating to that group now. And I'm not going to judge whether it's the right thing or wrong thing to do. Maybe it is the right thing at this time due to crisis. To do it, but we shouldn't.
The problem is
we shouldn't do it with this hate.
The problem is government mismanagement of public utilities and stuff.
Of course,
that's the biggest problem.
Of course,
and she knows it. And if she doesn't know it, how does she? Why is she a governor? If she doesn't know the truth or won't accept the truth about mismanagement of state and public funds.
But you're talking,
how could she stand there and do that?
Keep in mind a few things, Ted. She's running for office. What she's saying doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't have to be substantial as far as making a difference. I mean, the water that the Saudis use probably, a fraction of 1% or something? I don't know. It's not very much, I wouldn't think. I would think a golf course would use as much. But is it going to make a difference? Probably not. Will it make a difference to her politically? And that's all this is. This is a political attack. Right. She's doing it.
She's a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite because she and the rest of them said about Donald Trump. Remember when Donald was going, they're eating the animals, the pets. Remember that?
I liked it.
Remember when he
they're
said,
eating the cats and the dogs.
Yeah,
they're eating the cats. I know.
Yeah. Well, the Saudis and the Chinese are stealing our water.
Right.
They're stealing our water. The pets are going to die because they're stealing our water. It's the same thing. She's a hypocrite. The rest of them are hypocrites.
What?
I don't pay her to be a political hypocrite.
But Ted,
she governs the state.
Ted, this is not new news. This is an election year, and the hypocrites are on the run, man. There's going to be out there. We just need to be aware and pay attention to it. But it doesn't mean it doesn't win. It doesn't mean it doesn't get her a block of votes. It quite possibly could, and it doesn't mean that the Saudis won't be voted out. In fact, I think the Saudis already lost some of their opportunities to farm, didn't they? I think some of that's already happened in La Paz. That they were asked not to farm anymore. It's not the end of the
Ask
world,
not to.
but it's not going to make a difference. Well, lose the lease, whatever. It's not going to make a difference, I don't think. We probably still open 10 golf courses after that in Phoenix.
Why should they lose their lease? What did they do wrong?
They got the mob.
The royal family did not promote. I'm going to tell you for a fact, they did not promote or stand behind 9/11.
Oh,
attack. They did not.
I'm
the Crown Prince and the rest of them did not stand behind
this.
That.
All has to do with record droughts. This all has to do with water down. People panic. They look around and say, well, what are the Saudis doing here? We're going to get rid of them Saudis. They're stealing. And the governor just piggybacked on it. Unfortunately. But if you
come out and go,
if the criteria is no agricultural products are allowed to leave for a foreign country, we'd be in real trouble in Yuma, because short of lettuce. Now, lettuce mostly all stays here, but not all of it, but most of it does. But you start out talking other crops, man, we grow that for other people. A lot of stuff that Tim Dunn does with the wheat, that's that's for the Jewish population. That goes overseas. I mean, that's a specialized crop that's grown just for them. It's very interesting. The way it has to done, the rules they have to have on that to make it kosher.
I prefer her to spend her time trying to fund or trying to work out some desalination plants.
Salination,
something that might.
We need some big projects, and we've needed them for 20 years, and everyone says, well, it takes too long. If we just started, it'd have been done already. But look, getting other states to agree, getting California to agree, it's been tough. Getting them to agree on the cuts is tough. And we're not good at it. We haven't done big projects forever, like the Hoover Dam, like Lake Mead, and like some of the reservoirs in California, which now they've tore up reservoirs instead of adding reservoirs. And they let water run into the ocean instead of capturing it, and then say, give me more water off the Colorado. Yeah, crazy times. But just know where it comes from and why, and it's mob mentality.
Well, how do they capture so much of the vote in this state that they could put her in? How do they because philosophical mental derangement do they have to facilitate putting her in office?
It is an art form. It is a science, and they sit down and study it, and they listen to groups of people. They write down what works, what doesn't work, which terminology to use, and what way to go. I mean, it is, and everybody does that. I mean, you're going to pay attention. Trump does it. What Trump does, though, he thought, man, the best way to go is to tell the truth and then promise things and actually do the things I promise. Now, that's kind of a new thing to do versus promise everything and do nothing like Biden, and then nobody cares or notices and pays attention.
Right. Well, I want her to, if she can hear me or one of her little cronies.
Yeah.
I worked around many Syrian, a lot of people from the Middle East, Russ. Okay. And that is almost a vile insult to them.
What is?
It's no different than a duel of slapping your opponent in the face with a glove.
Well, call them.
And they don't take kindly to those kind of.
Yeah.
Huh?
You mean call them stealers to be thieves?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I agree.
They take that personally, and she has no place.
It's unnecessary
in using that kind of rhetoric on the world stage. These people. You can say people can say what they want about the Middle Eastern.
It depends on your definition of the word steal, I guess. If you're a Democrat, you got that right. Like the definition of the word is. But it's unnecessary because you don't steal it if you have a legal lease to farm the land and use the water, and then say you're stealing it. Like, what the hell are you talking about, man? I got a lease. You sold it to me. You told me I could do it. I hired the farm workers.
Right. What she has said publicly.
Yeah.
She is calling these people in the Middle East Badu. You know what a Badu is?
I do not.
It's a desert thief in Arabic, Syrian Arabic, whatever. A Badu. That is what she is calling.
It's unfortunate.
The government of Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
In China. A Badu.
all too typical during a season of voting, a voting season. So there we go. So she's just following the mob, and it's
Okay.
unfortunate.
Well, I'm just hoping people out here, instead of voting a lot, sticking hard to party line, listen to what these fools are saying and what they're doing to our economy, what they're doing to our people, one against the other. You know what I mean? They need to look at that and stop voting party line if they know in their hearts that's wrong. Shouldn't be said.
And if we care about water, we need to get together with other states and make some real plans on desalination, on conservation, on reservoirs, and stuff.
Yeah, I need her to do her job.
And we don't do that. Well, nobody's done that in 20 years, buddy. Not just her. Nobody.
Well, I hired her to promote that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm paying her salary. I didn't hire her, but I'm paying her salary. She needs to do that stuff.
I don't think you voted for her. We all need to do it. Our legislature needs to do it, all of them. And hopefully we get around to it. But I agree with you that the rhetoric like this is not helpful, but it satisfies a few people and some people that may vote for her. She may have won some votes saying it, so she's going to do it again if that's what it takes. To her, I mean, and like most politicians, they got to be in power for another 4 years for the good of the people in her mind, or maybe the good of her.
She needs to understand. Yeah, she needs to understand that these people take that kind of stuff very personally.
I never would guess that.
Saudis and all, they take that very personally.
Look, man, we got Iran out there saying death to America every morning for morning prayer. Death to America, death to America. And we're supposed to accept that, I guess. I'm not accepting.
I don't have to accept anything. I'm just telling her as a paid official of our government that she needs to stop insulting these people.
Okay.
There's other ways of denoting what she may or may not believe is what they're doing.
Well, you could always ask her, if they're stealing it, how come Chris Mays hasn't indicted them?
Right, exactly. There you go. Where's the receipts?
Where are the
receipts?
Why have we not indicted them if they're stealing it? Well, the fact is they're not stealing it. That's the fact.
No.
Fact is, we signed contracts for them to do it. We knew what they were going to do when they did it. And we said, that's great. We get business into Yuma. We're putting people to work.
Yeah. Where do you think that money goes? To pay for her luxury life?
No.
What?
No. It does not go to her. It does not. It goes to the state. I mean, state lease. I don't know how much they lease the land for and all that, and the water rights and all that. But I guarantee you, they paid for it. They did not steal it, or they'd be indicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of running her yappy-doodle, she needs to speak to these people personally. Go talk to the.
Why don't you go to one of the?
Talk to them.
Why don't you go to one of her? I don't know if she takes questions. She really doesn't. She doesn't do town halls and questions too much. But ask her, like, you say Saudis are stealing water. Why have they not been indicted? Someone should ask them. Have you asked Chris Mays? Have you asked Chris Mays to indict them? Well, you can't, because they never have been stealing it. It was always sold to them.
Well, I call these people. I do it.
Yeah.
You can check on me behind me. I'll give you the phone numbers. Check on me. They won't answer their phones at the State House.
Because they got your number?
That do, who knows? Yeah. And the ones that do answer it, you never get a call back.
Wow.
Never, ever.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
Oh, well, we're really busy right now. I don't know. We'll be able to get back to you with that information. Give me a break. Well, when my taxes come due for the state, I'm too busy. I'm not paying them. What do you think's going to happen to me?
Well, they're not going to come from you. They're going to leave you alone.
Dream on. All right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry to take up so much time.
No problem.
She's attacking one of our semi-allies in the Middle East over something she could have done something if she wanted to.
I got it, man. Take care, buddy.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
That was Ted. Doesn't like calling the Saudis thieves. And they are not thieves. I'm trying to look, I got a comment that we have polls of Biggs and Hobbs, and that Hobbs is winning, but I don't know, and that could be true. But let me take one from Mike. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, good morning, Russ. How are you today?
We're doing well, sir.
Good. Every time I see that Haig's face on my TV, I think the Republican Party put her there. The Republican Party put her there because the Republican Party was against their own candidate, Carrie Lake. You remember that woman?
I do. And I'm going to partially agree with you. It's not the party, it's factions within the party, and it's unfortunate. Yeah, they did.
Go ahead.
No, they did. There was a split. There were those that disliked Carrie Lake so much that they put Hobbs in power because they said, I can't vote for that woman. I won't vote for that. And some of them, including the McCain clan, actually supported Hobbs and still does. And they've endorsed Hobbs. Cindy has endorsed
so
Hobbs.
Really, and for the people during that election of governor, Carrie Lake against this egg, this idiot. Remember, Cochise County wanted to stop the election and investigate it, and the Republican Party said we have to keep the government open to do the will of the people. Well, Katie Hobbs is doing the will of the people, according to the Republican Party.
The Cochise County incident, I agree that they would have gotten in trouble by trying to stop it. It would have been unsuccessful, and it would have damaged more than it helped.
That.
I do.
You don't know that.
Well,
you don't know that.
I believe that's exactly what would have happened.
Okay, you don't know that. But right now we have this state is being investigated. And again, wait a second. The state of Arizona has a majority of Republicans in the House and Senate.
Right.
And this state is being investigated to the nth about voter fraud.
And it should be. It should.
And I just want to say the state of Arizona has a majority in the House and Senate with Republican Party.
So what? You think because they have a majority that they can just make a memorandum and say there will be no cheating in our state because we have the majority and that's going to happen? It doesn't work that way. Look, it took DeSantis years to get the problems of Florida straightened out. Once he was the governor, they had the majority. It still took years to rout out, the entrenched mob down in the South, in Miami, in that area, to get the voters cleaned up. It did. And it's going to take, it does take time. And now that it's identified, it's going to take time. And you got a governor right now with Hobbs that's blocking efforts, has vetoed efforts by our own legislature that has passed many bills to clean up a lot of this stuff, to make it more transparent, to make it more obvious, to stop some of the harvesting and make reports mean something, get stuff done on time. She stopped it all. And that's to bring chaos and all of it to it. And we can't just say, well, we've got the majority, we control it, and it's going to happen tomorrow, Governor. I don't care what you say. Well, you're wrong. It won't work that way. That's not the way that we work in our democratic republic. We can't just snap our fingers and say we're in charge, and I deem it to be so.
We're not a democratic republic. We're a constitutional republic. Please get it right, please.
It's a democratically elected constitutional republic.
Yeah.
You're correct.
But the thing about, there's the word Democrat is not Democrat. Democracy is not mentioned in the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence. But again, because of the Republican Party, they destroyed their own candidate, and we have a communist in the Senate. We lost a seat in the Senate
because of the Republican Party. So the whole party is at fault for losing a seat. And see,
you know what? You can think what you want.
But, I'm not. I'm repeating what you say.
We have a Democrat. We have a Democrat as a governor, and we have a communist as a senator. So I believe
communist as a senator. Which senator is communist?
You don't even remember that. The guy that she lost to, Grijalva or whatever his name was, he's a communist. He said he was a communist.
Grijalva? Is it?
No, who was the senator that Carrie Lake lost to?
Garego.
You're connected to all this, and you don't even remember. But I want to remind everybody.
But I didn't know he ever claimed to be a communist, but ever.
We'll do a little bit of reading. The Republican, we had 2 terms of a Republican governor, Jan Brewer, 2 terms of a Republican governor, Ducey. And they didn't do any of the stuff that we need right now. You know what we got? We have circle drives.
Ducey didn't do anything. Ducey didn't do school choice.
Did he do anything about?
Ducey didn't pay off the debt. Ducey didn't bring in more business than has ever been brought in before. He's business friendly. He did it, and he got it done. You're
Right,
saying
great.
he didn't get any of that done.
He didn't do anything.
And the thing that Hobbs is taking credit for right now,
independent of California and our oil and gasoline. No, he didn't do anything.
No, he did
and
not.
Now we're feeling
he did not.
He didn't do anything about starting back then, which you claim to say takes so long to do. Water desalination plants. No, he didn't do it. But we have circle drives.
Nobody's done it, and thank God we have roundabouts. They're very helpful. But
those are the most ridiculous.
And
have you ever driven an 18-wheeler?
Yeah,
you have.
I have. I was a yard dog.
And you think that a circle drive benefits those poor guys driving those 18-wheelers?
Correct.
Okay. Another thing too, the Democrat Party hates our military soldiers.
It would appear so.
And I think that statement, thank you for your service, is a Democrat statement that goes back to trying to forgive themselves of what they did to the Vietnam veteran.
I don't think they've ended. Vietnam was more obvious, but I think now the defund police, defund first responders, disrespect for the military, shorting the budget, invading the military with DEI and transgenders and stuff is a disrespect all on its own. I think that continues.
I'm not ready to use the incident in Iran to call it a war. I'm not ready to call the thing in Ukraine a war, but the media is, which means that according to the media, we have soldiers that are engaged in war. Have you ever heard the media praise our soldiers? No, they're looking for any little thing. They're looking for any little thing to undermine our soldiers. And that stupid thing about the suicide rate on an aircraft carrier. Have you ever been on an aircraft carrier?
Only as a visitor. Yeah.
Yeah. It's better than New York City. Okay.
No.
Have you ever been on an aircraft carrier? Nobody is tired of being at sea on an aircraft carrier.
I've been on quite a few.
If that's the case, what about our submariners?
Tight quarters, but I've been on some nuclear subs too.
But what I'm saying is the media will go out of their way to exploit that.
Yeah.
But they won't praise our military right now and the great things that they have done. Have you ever heard the Democrat Party talk about the great things that we have done in Iran?
Not that I can recollect, no.
And for that matter, you haven't heard Kennedy, Beck, O'Reilly, and Victor Hansen either. But our guys are at war right now, and nobody has given them an ounce of praise. But thank you for your service.
Well, that's better than what they gave to Vietnam guys. But you're right.
You know what? You look in the eyes of a person you say that to.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
90% of the time, they're looking back at you like, "Get the hell out of here." Yes.
I have never had that happen. I've never had that happen.
Because you don't know what to look for.
Okay.
You say thank you for your service for yourself, not for them.
I've never said it from me. I'm in awe of what these guys have done.
Most people say thank you for your service for themselves, not for the soldier.
All right.
Now a soldier will accept that from a person that they know is sincere. But 90% of the people who just throw that out there, Sean Hannity, aren't sincere.
I don't know that Sean's done a lot of visits overseas. Sean's gone and visited people at battlefields.
He does it for himself, and he does it for publicity.
I'm not the biggest fan of Sean. I don't listen to him all the time, but I have no problems with him.
Do you know who really did a lot for the soldiers in Vietnam?
Who?
Raquel Welch.
Oh, good
and
for
nobody
her.
knew the great things that she did.
There's been a lot of movie people that have.
What I'm
or
saying,
whatever,
in
over the years.
comparison, Raquel Welch and Sean Hannity going over to do things for the soldiers. And who the hell is that other lady with the? And I could only describe her this way.
What?
Got a big mouth. She was an actress back then.
Carol
That
Channing.
lady stayed. No. I can't remember. She didn't have a memorial to her at Fort Bragg. She stayed with the Green Beret on forward units, and she refused to leave, and she just
an actress.
Huh?
An actress.
Yes. And when I say her name, you'll be surprised.
Who is it?
Maybe somebody in.
Can't remember.
I can't remember her name. But when that is sincerity. Raquel Welch and that woman, Sean Hannity's a punk, and he always will be a punk, and he knows he's a punk. So don't tell me Sean Hannity.
I don't consider him that. I don't consider him that.
Doesn't benefit Sean Hannity.
But
anyway, that's what I want to say. Have you heard? When's the last time you heard the media praise our soldiers that are engaged right now? What they did in Venezuela. What they're doing in Iran, what they're doing in Mexico. You don't see any cartels coming over that border going north right now, do you?
No.
So,
how about Anne Margaret, Marilyn Monroe, Marlene Dietrich?
Anne Margaret was another one.
Yeah. Carol Landis. Martha Ray, that's old stuff.
Martha Ray.
Okay.
They made her an honorable full bird colonel so that she could refuse.
Oh, good.
So that she could stay there.
I was unaware.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Of course we're unaware because we don't, that's the type of stuff.
Well, that was World War II. I wasn't.
No, it was Vietnam.
Was it? Okay. Oh, Marilyn Monroe was earlier. That was 54 for Marilyn Monroe.
I don't know if Marilyn Monroe had the guts to go over there, but
she was in South Korea. But yeah,
Raquel Welch did a lot of work that nobody knows about, and she stayed in harm's way.
Okay.
And Martha Ray, God, I'm sorry, ma'am, I can't remember your name. Martha Ray, that is a great woman.
Okay.
But
Bob Hope did a lot. Not a woman, but Bob Hope was over there.
Of course, absolutely. And Bob Hope didn't do it for publicity either.
No.
But the thing about it is that let's Katie Hobbs.
Yeah.
I hope the Republican Party presses her to have a debate.
Well, they have, but she said no.
So they should have a chair there, like Clint Eastwood with the half-white Barack Obama, first half-white president of the United States. And you know who should sit in that chair?
Who?
Who do you think I think should sit in that chair?
To take the place of
Carrie
Hobbs.
Lake.
Oh, Carrie Lake.
Carrie Lake should sit in that chair and just be silent.
I don't think so. No.
If the Republican Party does not hold debates, they're useless.
Well, then call them useless. I don't think you can hold a debate if they don't show up. But I think there's some forums that Big should have.
You hold the debate, you put the cameras there, you put an empty chair there, and to put the cherry on top of the cake, put Carrie Lake sitting in that chair.
I'm not disagreeing. I'd like to see that. I hope everyone
now, let me ask you a question. Because we're getting inundated with Katie Hobbs commercials. That's not from Katie Hobbs. That's from the Democrat Party. Okay, that Andy Biggs wants to raise our taxes 23%. Do you think Andy Biggs wants to raise our taxes 23%?
No, of course not. And what Andy Biggs had worked to do at a federal level was to get rid of all other taxes, income tax and all of it, and just go to one straight tax, like a flat tax.
So that story is half right.
Yeah.
He's going to, I don't know if it's 23%.
I don't
23% seems to be the income tax withdrawal. He's getting his plan is to get rid of state tax.
Well, and to get rid of income tax, and get rid of all of it, and just go to a single use tax.
Correct. That's what that is. So when he gets rid of, would you like to not have the state take money out of your paycheck?
I would like to have it
Would you
all
like that?
cleaned up where you don't have to have an account. You don't have to figure it out. It's just strictly a flat deal that's
That's what
simple.
he
And
wants to
everybody would save
do.
money except for the accountants. They would lose.
So,
Yeah.
and so in order to stop the income tax, there's got to be taxes levied somewhere. So it's going to be in the retail tax.
But you could probably get rid of all the IRS agents. You get rid of all that stuff.
That's exactly what he wants to do.
Right.
But here's the thing. He's only reporting half of it. She's exploiting 23%, elevating that.
Right.
Where's the Republican Party challenging that?
I imagine
the Republican Party commercials.
Look, I don't know. I mean, they might be
Don't
out there. They might not. I don't.
Right now. Aren't they touting that they have a lot of money?
Well, I mean, Mike,
you use the money to defeat the enemy. Don't hold on to it for next year.
If you got a plan that'll help, go help them with it. But
hey, I'll tell you what. Here's the plan.
What?
Have a commercial. Have a commercial that counters Katie Hobbs' 23%.
Have you called the Biggs campaign?
They called the Biggs campaign
to ask them what they're doing.
You don't think it takes little old me to get them to motivate?
I think everybody should help. Yeah.
If the people that are involved in that, and that's why I get mad at you, because you are involved.
I am.
And you're asking me to go to get on the phone. That last guy, Ted, just said the phone doesn't do anything.
Yes, it does. By the way, it does. It helps.
Does it really?
Yeah, it does. It does.
I got to tell you one thing. If you are involved in that and you aren't thinking about defeating the enemy, you know what? You're worthless.
I am not involved in the Biggs campaign. I am not. What?
I'm not saying you. Wait. I just didn't call you worthless. I'm talking about in general.
All right.
I don't think. And first of all, let me tell you from the bottom of my friggin' heart, I don't think you're worthless. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to call Biggs today. I'll call him today, and I'll talk to him about it for you. Good. I'll let you know what he says.
And we want a debate. I want to see a debate.
I don't think I don't think it's going to happen. But if you're asking that he does a debate with an empty chair, if they will do that for him, if he can force that issue, I think it'd be great. I do.
Who's they?
The people that were holding the debate. There was a group that was holding the debate.
And is that group Democrat leaning or Republican leaning?
I don't know, but I'd have to find out. But if it's supposed to be a neutral group, and if they will still hold it and let him show up, I think that'd be wonderful. Don't know if they will. And maybe we could do it on our own, but then it becomes political, and maybe you can't. I don't know.
Who cares if it becomes political? Why do you even care?
Because there's political rules. There's political rules. There's about equal time stuff.
And the object is to defeat them, and get rid of them.
That's exactly right.
Why do you even care about hurting them?
Here's why I care. Let's say that Andy holds a debate on his own, to himself, to an empty chair, and every TV station runs it. Then, according to equal time rules, she'd get the same opportunity. Possibly.
Let her do it. Let her do it, because every time the Democrats do something, they make fools out of themselves.
Possibly. I just think it could be a non-starter.
It's the Rush Limbaugh inherent rule. Do it so that you draw out the Democrat Party. Why can't you people get that through your heads? Force the vote. Force the vote to show who the rhinos are and who the Democrats are. Why can't you people get that through your heads? Who are you trying to protect?
I'm not protecting anybody. But I think it's at the end of the day, it's up to Biggs to run the campaign that he thinks is the right one. He's the candidate, and it's up to him.
I respect him immensely. He was America first. I respect the angle that he's trying to take right now, but I wish he would have the same energy that he had with Matt Gaetz in America First.
He's going to be here on September 7th, and of course, there'll be an opportunity to talk to him if you're so inclined. But there's a dinner going on where Scott Jennings is going to be one of the speakers. Andy Biggs is going to be one of the speakers. He'll be here with Sheena Kerr, who is
where is that going to be?
It's going to be at the Elks Club there on 32nd Street. I'm going to be emceeing the thing, but they'll be there as well as quite a few others. But yeah,
we'll make sure you announce it a couple days before.
I've been announcing it all along. Now's the time. I mean, we've already sold out. Not sold out. We've sold a lot of seats already. Tables have been sold for it. I think there's only room for a little over 200 people. So it's not a big crowd. But Scott Jennings was just mentioned to be the next press secretary for Trump, possibly. Possibly. He's on a list. He's on the short list. We don't know. It kind of scares me because if he gets selected, maybe he can't make the 7th. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But with Scott Jennings is the headliner, and it was a lot of work to get him here. Tanya Wright put all that energy into that. One of those.
Boy, that is a great Yuma person right there, Tanya Wright.
Yeah, one of those do nothing Republicans.
No, Tanya Wright is anything but a do nothing Republican.
Okay.
Put words in my mouth.
I'm glad you recognize. I do.
I mean, if there was a queen to be given in this city, in this state, she should have it. Okay. That is an amazing woman.
She's had her fingers in a lot, and she's co-hosted this show for a year or two.
Yes, she has. I wish she would do it more.
I think she's busy right now with a lot of politics.
Yeah,
and we should be going live on AM 560 possibly within 3 weeks, maybe a little longer, but possibly within 3 weeks. I have some more meetings this afternoon on it. In fact, I'll be meeting with Tanya this afternoon too.
So anyway, you have a great day. You have a great weekend.
You take care.
Let me just end to tell you, I respect you immensely. So just know that.
Thank you, sir. You take care. Bye-bye. And that's Mr. Mike. Sometimes a lot more negative, I think, than necessary about. I think comes from frustration. He wishes more would happen that he sees necessary. I understand it, but it's exhausting. Exhausting. Former Border Patrol agent and fiance both sentenced in Yuma because of a fraud case. Wow. That's too bad. Former U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent and fiance. The two were ordered to pay more than $26,000 in restitution. Yuma Superior Court judge sentenced Saul Rivas Hau, H-A-U, and Hilda Sanchez on Wednesday. According to the Attorney General's office, they unlawfully obtained supplemental nutritional assistance. That's the SNAP program, the one nationwide that's had a lot of fraud. In fact, I never knew we had 42 million people on SNAP until something was mentioned about during COVID or something, or lockdown, like, well, there's 42 million people on SNAP that are waiting benefits. I was like, 42 million? Well, apparently not all legitimate. They did it between 22 and 25, 2022 and 2025, during the end of the whole COVID thing, which caused a lot of stuff. They also obtained women, infants, children, or WIC benefits in 23 and 24. State said the programs lost more than $25,000. Well, I think they lost more than that, but maybe just to these people they did. They have to pay $26,000 restitution. And he was a Customs and Border Patrol agent. Grand jury indicted him on several charges: conspiracy, fraudulent schemes, theft, forgery. They pleaded guilty to one count of Class 4 felony theft each. Involved federal agencies, including the Customs Border Protection. I'm sure the Border Patrol people don't like one of their own having that happen to them. It's bad business. Attorney General Chris May says SNAP and WIC are intended to help people afford food and should not be exploited for personal gain. I wonder who else was involved. I mean, there's probably a lot of people, but they did the story on the Border Patrol agent. Yeah, Border Patrol agent. They probably have hundreds of them. They did the story on the Border Patrol agent. Was that because they don't like Border Patrol agents? Maybe. I don't know. Why did they do the story on the Border Patrol agent? Is that the only one? I don't think so. I think there were probably many. I haven't researched it, but I don't think there was just Border Patrol agents involved in that. There was many more. Someone said, imagine Angry Mike and OG together. I talked to OG the other day, and yeah, he's a handful. I also mentioned Bob Hope. I'd already gotten Bob Hope, but okay. Thanks for doing that. Oh, it's Sandy. I said I got all of a sudden a ton. Oh, the UPS Teamsters. It was sent to me by Doug. I can't listen to it now. I will later. And of course, Mike Dovey sent me tons of tons of stuff. And Sandy, lots of information. I haven't gotten to it all, Sandy. My apologies. All right. Article here about mental health. I'm going to talk about mental health for a little bit because we've got some real problems with it, particularly after COVID. COVID's caused more problems than most people recognize, I think, particularly with some of the youth, some of the kids in high school, growing up, kids that were in daycare that never got to see faces because they were in masks. They have facial recognition problems, believe it or not. Yeah, they're like there's a lot of mental problems because of what we did to people, thanks to Fauci. This article on mental health crisis is an interesting one because I didn't think about. There's a murder trial for Lindsay Clancy, a murder trial, and she was with psychiatric care, and I know the trial's been going on for a while, and they've been interviewing some of the psychologists or psychiatrists, and the article says that a lot of that was telehealth, which gave me pause. I guess you're getting psychiatric care from your cell phone. And then one psychiatrist, and I think it was the Jennifer Tufts that was on air. I think she's brand new. I think she was just had become a doctor, and she's a doctor. She's a psychiatrist, and all, but she was fairly new, not a lot of experience. And this article says that nearly half, 48.3% of American adults with serious mental health illness receive some type of mental health treatment via telehealth. That's nearly half of the people pick up a phone and talk, without going in. I would think, and again, yeah, I've seen a psychiatrist once. It was interesting. I liked it. I had a good time. But I would think that having them in person would be a totally different deal, would be much more helpful. But we'll get into that. Let me talk to Sandy first. Sandy, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well.
And I don't like to speak for another person, so if I'm wrong, I know Mike will correct me.
Okay.
But I think part of his frustration comes from the very people in our party that were so foolish that they campaigned against Carrie Lake, helping out Hobbs, who wouldn't even debate her, and all because they were angry, a lot of them in our community, because President Trump didn't endorse the sheriff that was running. And so that pettiness is frustrating when you know, or at least if you're old enough to know, because younger people may not, that a Democrat is going to choose policies that are totally against what you're supporting.
Correct.
And so why in the world would you do that to your own? And, the excuse, well, she went after John McCain. Well, so what? Yeah. One little part of it. But anyway, it's wrong for me to speak for another person.
No, I think your observations are right. And he is frustrated. I have issues with Mike.
I am too.
I have issues with Mike in that he throws the whole Republicans are stupid. Republicans do it wrong. It's a big party.
They
There's a lot
accepted lies from Gallego.
Yeah.
And we ended up with Gallego. I can't remember who was running against him.
But
was it Carrie Lake?
Yes, it was. But is that Republicans' fault when you say every Republican, all Republicans?
No, I know we've got a lot of Democrats in the state, a lot of people from California.
All Republicans are lazy. All Republicans don't work. All Republicans don't get it right. It wears on me at times. I'm like, come on, Mike, get real. I know too many Republicans that work hard.
Correct. You are correct. But I want the factions to come to understand that if you really want to do well for your state, then you need not to choose a Democrat, not choose to support them.
Yeah.
But I wanted, that was just a short, only because he had spoken earlier.
Sure.
There's a whole lot of stuff going on, and I know you can't read it, but I was just looking through and I sent you like, little paragraphs, and it's just people need to understand that our Republican administration, the Trump administration, is doing a whole lot, and even a number of Republicans are. One clip I got to see was with Newt Gingrich, and it probably would have been last night, but remember, all I have is antenna TV. And he was talking about how Speaker Johnson is taking kind of like the contract with America that Gingrich did back in '94, and they're calling it the contrast. I don't know if it said with America, but maybe the contrast for America, and basically trying to show the difference between what the Democrats are preaching, which is this communist socialist ideas, versus what the Republican Party stands for. And I think that is outstanding. Another thing was, and it's very sad, was somebody decided to graffiti the World War II memorial.
Oh, no.
In D.C., which to me just illustrates the sickness on the Democrat side. There really are a lot of sick people.
Yeah.
Besant was talking about how we're hitting Iran, and you might have covered it because you went over Iran for quite a while, but using economic isolation.
Correct.
Duffy was talking, he's transportation, about 26,000 vehicles out of service because the drivers don't speak English.
Yep.
And they've taken 30,000 drivers off the roads because their licenses were illegally issued.
Yeah. From a handful of states.
I'm just trying to scan through some of it. President Trump is trying to secure our national security and strengthen our U.S. supply chains by imposing tariffs on drones and their parts and components. And then later on, there was a part about we've got American companies that are working on producing better drones for us. And then like J.D. Vance, he's talking about how we need to not just throw slogans at the young people who are interested in socialism, but we need to do what President Trump is doing, which is trying to bring in these companies, producing a better market so that they can have, find jobs and have life do better. And then Tim Cook is one of those companies where he's setting up a manufacturing plant in Houston. The Indy car drivers are going to have that 250 Grand Prix. Tom Homan is really working to deport the illegals in the country. And in New York, they just don't cooperate. So what happened is they had an illegal in New York, and Homan or ICE had given them a detainer. And of course, they wouldn't tell ICE that they were releasing this guy. They released this guy, and the very next day he murdered Americans.
Yeah.
And so the New York people want to blame them when the New York people wouldn't let them know when they were releasing them. And that's just a little bit about what's going on. And so people need to not just be like Stanley Black & Decker is investing in the country. there's a whole lot of good things going on, and you're not going to see that if all you do is watch the media or listen to the media. Even in a show like yours, it's hard to cover all of that. So my suggestion is get Truth Social. And if you get Truth Social, make sure you follow President Trump, the White House, and Rapid Response. And I think you'll be more informed about positive things. If you want to look at negative things, just turn on your local media. So
yeah. I was following along with all the notes you gave me. Yeah, I think you covered it all.
There's so much more. I know I don't want to drone on because that's a turnoff to people too.
And that's fine. I'm
but
glad
it's just so many people in his administration are doing awesome stuff for us.
And that's the Republican.
And the media won't cover it.
And it's the Republican Party. Trump is the leader of the Republican Party. And I think sometimes we lose sight of that. But that's always the case. When your president is a Republican, he is the leader of the Republican Party. He's the highest ranking Republican in the whole nation. So the Republican Party is MAGA, like it or not.
Right.
That's where it is right now. And I like it that way.
I agree.
And, you know,
and I love that Speaker Johnson wants to do this contrast. I just want the ads to get out now. I heard Matt Towery telling that to Sean Hannity, and maybe they're working on them. Man, I'd love to see some of those fun AI ads. You know, I don't know. That probably wouldn't cost anything. I don't know. Would that harm somebody's campaign? Could you be in trouble for that? Or
no, you can do whatever. When you can put them out there. You mean like Spencer Pratt had all those AI ads and stuff?
Oh, those were outstanding. I think he would have. I think he won. I think they just stole it from him.
And the AI stuff from Trump, a lot of those are just written by other people without his knowledge, and he just likes them and forwards them and so.
Well, you know, in the first term they didn't have that, and so I got to see a little clip. The work that those guys had to do to create those was like phenomenal. It was something like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. You know, where they were replacing Trump's head for somebody else's head and other stuff.
I think AI does that.
Those guys were outstanding.
I just don't know how to
run it. But AI makes it easy now,
I don't know how to run it yet. I haven't really spent
I don't know how to do any of that. I want to, you know, after I saw a little bit of that clip from first term, it was like, okay, I'm not doing that. You know, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, we need to be positive about the Republicans. We need to understand that there is nothing good that the Democrats are wanting to do.
No.
And it's an embarrassment after all the years of supporting McCain that Mrs. McCain is continuing to support Hobbs.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But she's got a burr in her butt.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't think that we bowed enough to her husband, I guess. And it's just too bad.
Yeah, he was.
And I don't know if her daughter's the same. Probably is. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't spend a lot of time on it. You know, it is. She's one person.
No, we can't because we just need some other people with a lot of money to help Biggs. And
well, we can help.
Just help our side if we could get. Go ahead.
We can help Biggs without money. We can help Biggs by talking to friends and neighbors. We can help Biggs by, you know, just passing the word out, and that's all. And that's all it takes. You know, it's helping Biggs, you know, versus calling up and complaining about Republicans suck every day. You know, talking about what really happens. Like
that's a good point. We need to put out more positivity, but we need to explain the negativity when they want to open the border up. We know what that's going to do. I saw a clip with the guy on the 5, Gutfeld, and he said, you know, I've got 30 pages, or maybe it was 10. Maybe exaggerating like my brother. 10 or 30 pages of women that were murdered over the last 10 years by illegals.
Sure.
And we need to understand that's a consequence of opening the border. If you want to defund our military, then you're opening yourself up to attacks from any and every country. And there's so many other things they want to do. They want to increase your taxes. Do you really want more of your money taken for taxes? I don't think so. And they want to steal your property. They want to take your money. And they're serious about it. Now what they're doing is they're trying to back away from that and say, oh, well, I didn't mean that.
It's an election
but
year.
The message I would give people is Gallego lied. Every part of his ads were lies. And some of you guys fell for it.
Well,
and you need to quit falling for the lies.
I pointed it out every day he was running them. I was like, he's not Reagan. He's trying to make himself look like Reagan. That's not him. That's not what he stands for.
I know.
And but people thought, whatever.
It's just a shame. It was people because in essence, that part Mike's right, because the Democrats obviously were going to support Gallego.
Yeah.
And then there were factions in our party that also pushed for Gallego. Maybe it was because he was Hispanic.
I don't know of anybody in our party that pushed for Gallego, but I don't know.
Say again?
I don't know anybody in our party that pushed for Gallego. But there probably was, but I don't know any.
McCain would have.
Possibly. Well,
the McCain
like I say,
family.
I don't even think about them. They're not. They don't exist.
I know, but they're people in that faction is what I meant. I didn't mean like. I mean throughout the state, there had to be Republicans vote for him, unless we've turned totally Democratic and we're.
Well, keep in mind that
never going to be.
There's more Republicans than Democrats, but there's more independents than there are Republicans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't think, I always forget them. That's not very smart on my part.
That's all right.
I don't know why I forget the independents.
Yeah.
I need to remember that. So you think it was more Democrats and independents than Democrats, Republicans?
I think so. I think those that are squishy are mostly registered as independents. And
okay. I don't know why I've got to change it. I was corrected just a week ago about that, and I can't. Anyway, I got to install that in my memory.
Yeah, it's a two-party system, but not everyone belongs to the two parties.
I know, and I know that, and I've known it for years, and I don't, I have flaws, I will admit. But I will keep trying no matter what.
Shame on you.
But I appreciate you. If you have a chance, just, read through that stuff. To me, it's faster to read than to watch a video.
Of course.
And my phone sometimes is not good about letting me see the videos. It's my personal problem. So I can read. I just read it real fast. But it just tells people there is a lot of good stuff going on. And you're right. It's coming from our party. It's coming from our president. Yeah. And it's coming from his expectations for his administration. Because all those people I were mentioning, from Vance to Bessent, to Duffy, those are all people that are working for the Trump administration. And for Holman, Holman's really doing a lot of work trying to make the country safer.
Yeah,
and I am sickened. Go ahead.
And he's doing it on the down low. I mean, he's not trying to get as many, as much notice as prior, when it was, God, what's her name now? I forget already. But he's just doing his job and doing it gruff and straight out. He's not trying to, get hits on X or anything on social media.
Well, they have done better than what Obama has done.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, I guess, last month was really good. And they're doing everything they can. Like, they were looking at 30,000 refugee claims, that came in previous administrations. They're trying to clean that up. And there's so much fraud to clean up. Vance is working on that. There is so much that has been done wrong when the Democrats are in power that it's hard to clean it all up in just a few years.
Thank God we have Republicans.
That's the hard part. That's why we want more Republicans to stay in power, so that we can keep working on trying to decrease the fraud, get people out of the country that shouldn't be here, and people that are, using up our resources. So that's where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So,
Thank
you
God
know, they need to be in their own country
thank you,
and
man.
try to clean it up. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard in their countries because that's what the socialist communists want to do to us.
But they've lived here long enough now to see how it's done, so they can go home and do it now. Got an education, get home and get your country cleaned up. Absolutely.
I just wish they would.
Some of them won't have a choice.
Anyway, you have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. And good weekend. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Now Sandy. And since I had Sandy and I mentioned the voter registration, I went back and looked at it to see what it really is. It's a little different than I thought. Republicans are the highest. 1,523,000 Republicans, 1,210,000 Democrats, which pretty decent. Mike, what's up?
Hey, the reason I called you the first time, I didn't get a chance to talk about it, but do you remember the last time Arizona had a Republican, two Republican state senators?
Sure. Flake and McCain.
Flake.
Yeah.
Not Flake.
Jeff Flake.
Oh, I thought you said Lake. Yeah,
no,
Jeff
Flake.
Jeff Flake.
Yeah.
Jeff Flake. Now there's a strong Republican.
Well,
the last time Arizona had two Republican senators, they were both abject rhinos.
That's one opinion, I guess.
That's one opinion. But did you know Jeffy Flake was in the news a couple of weeks ago? I don't know you. I don't think you ever covered that.
What was he, an ambassador or something now, or what? What's he doing?
Well, he was an ambassador appointed by a Democrat president.
Yes.
How does a Republican get an ambassadorship from a Democrat?
It's not terribly uncommon, but obviously they like him.
How does a Republican get an ambassadorship from a Democrat? I don't care how uncommon it is.
Democrat likes him, thinks he'll do the job for him. And
yeah, he was a Democrat through and through when he was a Republican.
I think he became disenchanted with the Republican Party. I think he became disenchanted with some stuff. But now when he was in the House, he was a champion of trying to stop fraud, wasteful spending. He was big on all of that. And
that he did a lot. You know what? He didn't know about U.S. aid.
No.
Did he?
No, he didn't.
Did he now? He didn't know about the nonprofits. Did he now?
He hadn't gone to that either.
But you know, the fraud at that time, which nothing was done about, was just something to hang your campaign on.
Okay.
He did nothing for fraud.
He was a champion for it anyway. But as a senator, I think he started losing his way. And I spent some time with him. I liked the guy, but he just slowly kind of drifted, I guess, and people noticed.
He was a mirror of John McCain.
No, they were different, but they were friends. They got along very well.
And one of the other things that, you know, we're talking about the accolades of the state of Arizona Republican Party. And what you're saying that there's more Democrat registrations than Republican registrations?
Nope. 1,000,005 and of Republicans, 1,000,002 of Democrats.
So the Republican registrations outnumber the Democrat registrations.
And it didn't used to, but Republicans have been able to accomplish that in the last 4 years.
So then it took Republican votes to vote for that abortion bill that made Arizona an abortion state.
Well,
did it not?
It absolutely did. In fact, Tim Dunn voted for it, and he's very much a Christian, very much anti-abortion.
Does Tim Dunn take communion on Sunday?
I don't know that he's Catholic.
So, you know, they're not, the Catholic Church is condemning that one governor or whoever
that has abortion to birth. And that's why, and just so you know the history of it in the state of Arizona, when Roe v. Wade went out, then the laws on the books in Arizona was 0 abortions ever in Arizona. And the Democrats were putting together something to go to a referendum for the voters that would have been basically an unlimited. The Republicans agreed to the 24-week, I think it's a 24-week abortion, which most every state has, in order to stop the unlimited. That was the deal. And you say we could We should have fought for all of it and all that. And they decided not to. And they said, look, this is our best bet. Otherwise, the popular opinion is going to be that they want some abortion available. And they did that to stop the unlimited till birth abortion.
You see, again, this is our best bet. Is that politicking?
Yes.
This is our best bet. I'm voting for you to fall under the shingle of this is our best bet. Boy, yes. I hope he fights for us and gets the best bet.
I hope so too.
If every Republican would have voted against abortion, that would have been on the books. That it was a Democrat thing. That would have been on the books.
Not true.
Just like the Civil Rights Act.
Not true.
All the Democrats voted against LBJ's Civil Rights Act.
And that's not true either.
That won because of Republicans.
That's not true either. Well, it's true that the Republicans were the biggest majority, correct?
Right.
And the Republicans carried it, and LBJ. I mean, they couldn't have done it. Not LBJ, but they couldn't have done it without the Republicans. They had to go to the Republicans to get help. And the Republicans voted in a big percentage, and Democrats fought it. In fact, that was the longest filibuster ever posed by Democrats to stop the civil rights. Civil rights was the longest filibuster on record to stop it by Democrats. And they voted in a small percentage. We voted in a large percentage. We took it over the top. Yes, that's true.
And so say what you want to say. It took Republican votes to make Arizona an abortion state.
That's true.
And those are Sunday-going Republicans.
That's also true.
That take the Holy Communion on their tongue on Sunday. Isn't that amazing?
That's also true. That's also true. Absolutely. Yep.
So I wanted to bring up, first of all, Jeffy Flake and his ambassadorship to Turkey.
Why?
And
why? Why is that important to you?
I just think it's sinister. Why? That a Republican is appointed he was appointed by Obama.
No, I think it was Biden, wasn't
it? Well, even worse.
Okay.
What's the difference?
Well,
what's the difference?
One knows who he is.
Yeah. So that, and the Republican Party it took Republicans to make Arizona an abortion state.
We've already covered that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So when you sit there and you talk about the Republican Party needs to get on the stick. The Republican Party needs to do the will of the people, no matter what.
Well, I think you're right.
We lose.
I think you're right.
We lose hands down, fine. But it goes on the books that we didn't vote that way.
But you think that every Republican is going to agree 100% with every other Republican? You think every Republican should agree with you 100%? Is that what you think?
What was the last thing you said?
You think every Republican in this state should agree with your opinion of what a Republican should be? Do you think that's going to happen ever?
Solidarity. There's solidarity in the Democrat Party.
No,
why can't there be solidarity in the Republican Party?
You think there's solidarity with the Socialist Democrat of America and the regular Democrat?
That's just today. That's a big. Rush Limbaugh said it, and I have to remind you, the Democrats campaign to the right.
Of course.
This whole thing with what they're doing right now is they know they're dying in these midterms, so they have to do something. This is just a matter of maybe 2 months that this is all getting shook up by the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party believes what they believe, and they hate America. They hate the Constitution. They hate the police. They hate the military. And no matter what they say, you're never going to change anybody's opinion on that. So you don't give them credibility right now.
Well, you say we're not going to change opinions. I just told you the registration in Arizona, and the registration in Arizona was more Democrat than Republican, and now it's more Republican than Democrat. You say you can't change? People change, and things are changing.
Now you also want to say that it was the independents, not the Republicans, who voted against Carrie Lake.
I said,
I'd like to see that statistic.
I'm sure it's. I don't know if you can get that because you can't really get it, but they can only get it through polls.
I would like to see that statistic. Well, you can say what you want to say. I don't believe you. I believe it was Republicans It was Republicans who damaged this state.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you can believe
So,
that. That's fine. I'm not going to fight you for it.
There is a solidarity that has been the mainstay of the Democrat Party. We've never had that in the Republican Party.
You think there's a solidarity in the Democrats that doesn't exist in the Republicans? You're saying that they're a tighter group in the Democrats.
Yeah, look at the Republican Party with the SAVE Act today.
The SAVE Act isn't passing. Yeah, it hasn't passed.
Absolutely. Why is that?
Well, because we got a couple senators.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about it is it proved Matt Gaetz and Andy Biggs proved it.
What's that?
How damaged the Republican Party. Matt Gaetz and Andy Biggs proved that the Republican Party was 3/4 Rhino and 1/4 Republican, which
I think you're a Democrat at heart, my friend.
Now let me just say this. Let me just say this. You're the one who said and accused America First as being a radical far right, and you still haven't defined what you meant by that.
America First is radical far right. What do you mean?
That's what you said when Matt Gaetz wanted to unseat McCarthy for 15 votes, and you said they need to get back. We need to get the government together to do the will of the people. You called Matt Gaetz and America First radical far right. Hannity did, O'Reilly did, and Beck did. So you guys still haven't defined what you meant by what is a radical, first of all, and what is the far right, second of all, a Republican. What does that mean?
I don't remember that, but
you said it.
I said it. And how long ago was that?
That was during the I don't know, when did Matt Gaetz run the so you said it just now. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? I said
that tone in your voice. When Matt Gaetz was a great Republican.
I like Matt Gaetz. A lot of it I like.
And the Democrat Party and the Republican Party destroyed him. How do you think the DOJ would have been if Matt Gaetz would have been in charge instead of Bondi?
I don't know. I mean, I like Matt Gaetz, but
you called him radical far right.
I might have.
What does that mean? What is a radical, first of all, and what is a far right Republican?
Probably a little out of step at the time and pushing too far at the time, and not listening to actually constituents whatsoever. But I don't recall the incidents at the time, but it wasn't that I didn't like Matt Gaetz. I thought he was hurting himself a little bit at the time, probably.
How did he hurt himself a little bit at the time?
Well, that's why he's not.
You're going against the 3/4 Rhino Republican Party.
Correct.
Is that how he hurt himself?
Correct. Correct.
Okay.
Because you still need to be in office in order to make a change, to make a difference, if that's where you want to do it. And he can't do that now because he left office in 24.
He left office to be the head of the DOJ, and that was a bad calculation.
Right.
Of course. But it was the Republican Party who made sure he didn't get the DOJ spot because of another lie.
Probably.
Probably. It's the same thing like Santos. You remember Santos?
Yes.
The Republican Party, when all of a sudden goes and gets, they unseat him for
lying.
He lied.
Yeah.
What
George Santos
doesn't lie. What did he lie about?
Oh, so it's all acceptable then? No, he was just.
What did he lie about?
About everything, probably about his background.
And he wasn't a homosexual when he was a homosexual.
Who cares about
that? He married this woman.
No one cares.
Well, apparently the Republican Party did because they unseated him, and guess what? The Democrats took his seat, so they lost.
And he had a lot of
the Democrats
legal suits against him, and he had a lot of legal issues.
He voted Republican.
I don't disagree with any of that. But he upset the voting base, the people that put him in office, and he didn't respect it, take care of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just like Obama, just like Hillary,
Maybe,
just like Pelosi.
obviously not, because they stick around. Obviously not. But he did. And he did. And there was some check fraud things that he was working on, and some other things that he was just a little different. I mean, I didn't advocate for him getting thrown out or whatever, but that's what happened. He pushed it and he did it. And it happens. My friend Don Shooter got thrown out, and I liked him, and I told him at the time, and he was not a sexual predator by any means. He acted like one at times. I mean, as far as his nature or whatever, just being a little flippant. But I told him at the time, I said, "Look, man, I wish I was if I was in the house at the time when you got thrown out, I'd had to vote against you, because you ruined your self image. You did, and it wasn't about you at that time. It was about the Me Too movement. It was about everything else. There was no saving you. And I don't think Don Shooter did anything wrong, but he allowed himself to be set up by his actions, unfortunately.
Boy, whatever happened to the Me Too movement?
It outgrew itself.
Yeah.
It became ridiculous.
Did you see where this black guy? Damn, what's his name? An ex-basketball player. He wants to.
Yeah.
He's identifying himself as a woman.
Yeah.
To join the WMA.
NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think they're heroes.
Well, there's that aspect to it, but it's just such a mockery to the people who have ovaries.
No, what they're doing is a mockery
anymore.
to the people that don't recognize people that have ovaries. I think what they're doing is pointing out the ridiculousness of men playing in women's sports. So these guys that are 7 foot tall and professional players, and Royce White and Enes Kanter,
yes,
have come forward and said, "Look, I'm ready to play. I'm coming out with my feminine side. I'm a trans, and I'm going to play." And they're saying, "Look, it's going to be a retirement place now. The WNBA is going to be, kind of like the senior tour for NBA." That's great. If that's what they want to become. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's unfortunate to women. And I think it's ridiculous enough that they're going to have to rewrite their policies and make it for women after all. And they're going to have to understand and identify what W means in women's NBA, which they don't right now. They don't. And they can't identify the W. They need to identify the W, and then the Enes Kanter and the Royce White can walk away. Until then, they got to let them play.
Do you think that America is still a racist country?
No.
No.
And it hasn't been. Yeah.
The only racists the only racists are the Democrat Party.
I think it's correct. I think it's correct. I think they keep it alive.
No,
and they keep the imagery alive. And look, when we have immigration that are people who are dying to come in here, literally, they will risk life. They'll risk anything to come in here. People of color will come in here. People that want to work, get in here because we're a racist country. Of course not. They know we're a country of opportunity. They know we're a country of freedom, and a ridiculous, stupid country that left the door open.
And again, I hate soccer. It's just a playground sport.
Okay.
But it was a great thing that Trump had it was a great thing that Trump had soccer come to America, because that exposed to these people that are over the Pacific and Atlantic just how great this country is.
Don't say was, is. And I'll tell you, you're right. And it was hilarious videos, hilarious.
And so
and as Americans, we should all watch them so that we can recognize that what the little things that we have, the things that we don't appreciate, the things that we just take for granted.
Correct. The things we don't appreciate, they strive for.
Right. They would love to have. Absolutely.
But I have a loaded statement I'm going to try to get away with, and I'm careful. If America is no longer a racist country,
right,
I think we should unjail the N-word.
No,
That's the final nail in getting rid of
it's
racism.
not necessary. It's not necessary. It's just not. I don't
It's
care about it.
ridiculous that word is censored.
Maybe,
Can I say that word under the First Amendment?
no, because you're not black. But if you were, you could. And that ridiculous. I mean, that is ridiculous. In
But
fact,
what is the definition of that word? A lazy non-contributor to society. That's what the definition is of that word. And there are white people.
I've never read that way. I mean, I don't know. So I've never researched it. I just assumed it meant people of color.
Research it now. It's only 4 words. You know, there are white people that are the N-word, that are worse N-words than our black people. So we should uncage that word. We should set it free. We should let it fly.
I think it's been socially used only strictly on a certain race, and I think
absolutely. But I'm saying we should uncensor it. We should uncage it.
I have no interest in that. None. I think it would be a mistake. I mean, why cause that grief? Why cause that problems? We're not Democrats. We don't need to change word meanings. You know, it's an adjective that translates to black, dark, or gloomy. It's classic Latin. Used historically.
That's a lot. Which dictionary are you using? That's a lousy definition. Because there's 3 definitions to that word. 3 definitions, and one of them says it's black. If you look at the first Webster dictionary, the very first dictionary, I don't trust them. by Webster. I trust that one.
All right.
Okay, there's 3 definitions to that word.
Its base is Latin. Its base is Latin. It means black. That's it. It means black.
No.
It is.
Blah 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 blah. Negro means black.
Right.
That's a colloquial slang. It's not Latin.
And it became an English racial slur.
That's a horse poop definition.
It's not the definition you like. That's why we shouldn't mess with it. Leave it alone. Why do you want to play with it?
The original American dictionary by Webster.
Okay.
Read that definition.
I don't have it. I don't want it. Let me see. I got
So you don't want the truth? Okay.
No. I mean, the truth is, in society, the way it's used, when we could take a look at that, and the way it's been used for 100 years, and the fact that its base means black, it's kind of self-evident what it means.
No, its base does not. Its base does not mean black. Its base originally was a lazy, good-for-nothing person.
I don't know where you hear that.
That's the first definition. Then the next definition talks about lazy people. Then the third definition says that is a word used for the black population in the South.
In the South?
Yes. That's Hispanic for yes.
Wow. Well, I think I could look at it, but I don't. It's nothing I'm ever going to use. It's nothing I have any interest in.
But that's what I'm saying. If we really want to,
why? There's better things to do, buddy.
I should be able to say that word under the First Amendment without impunity.
I don't care.
Impunity.
I don't care. Do it, but not here. Do it somewhere else. I'm not filled with that need or necessity.
But that is America is not a racist country, and America is not a feminist country. America, we embrace our women. The only people who don't embrace the women are the Democrats, the feminists, Bella Abzug, Gloria Steinem.
Right.
And so you have the chaos that you have in this great sport, which is women's basketball.
I kind of like it now. I'm watching, the Fever occasionally because I think they're brilliant. But
I watch it. I watch it to watch those two. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I love watching.
Well, there's more than them. I mean, there's the whole starting lineup on the Fever is just kind of phenomenal right now with Boston and Kofi as well as Caitlin and the girl that's been making the most points was gosh Lord, I can't remember her name right now. But the whole team is actually fun. It's a teamwork, and that's what Caitlin brings. Caitlin brings teamwork. Actually, she really strengthens the team.
Correct. And that's what it's about, isn't it? That's what the Democrats hate, teamwork.
Yeah. Well,
That's
I don't know if
that's
they hate
the
it.
cross to the vampire Democrat Party, teamwork.
I don't, I don't know about that, but okay.
But they fired that coach, didn't they?
No.
The coach?
No. And that's been a rumor out there, and you'll see it on there. They fired him and all that. Kelsey Mitchell, she's the one that's been the hot hands, but she's only the hot hands because of the teamwork, because she's fed the ball at opportune times. Kelsey Mitchell, before Caitlin Clark, was a great player, but she would take that ball, hog it, dribble it until for 20 seconds, and then make a shot when she wasn't ready. Now with Caitlin Feature, she holds the ball for a few seconds and it's gone, and she makes tremendous points. And she stayed on that team versus free agency because she likes the teamwork and the Caitlin Clark's, understanding and reading defenses. It's really a good deal with Lexi Hall, Boston. I think.
Are you a basketball aficionado?
No, it's not my one of my favorite sports. I've taken an interest because I was kind of curious about Caitlin Clark, and then all of a sudden, I've liked it. I found myself interested.
The coach of the Chicago Bulls, I can't even think of his name, but he's so popular.
Okay.
Who was it? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
The coach of the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
Okay. Well, he was a part of a team, and I can't remember the team, and they won the championship. But they won the championship with pure team.
Tycho Splinter? I don't know who that is. Or you're talking Billy Donovan before him or something? Jackson
was the coach of Phil Jackson was the coach of the Chicago Bulls. But he was on a team. I forget what the name of the team was, and they won the championship by pure team effort. That meant you had to pass the ball 4 times before anybody took a shot.
Okay.
I forget who the coach of that team was. But if you ever get a chance to watch that championship game and see teamwork in perfection, it's an amazing game on that particular day. After that, you still had a lot of just individuality, but Michael Jordan gets more credit for being an individual than he does for a team person. He was more of a team person than he was an individual.
That's how you win championships. That's it.
What's how you win championships?
Team playing brings championships.
Yes.
You can have some great individuals on there that suck because they're worried about their own stats, and that's in any team sport. Any team sport.
People like Michael Jordan and Larry Bird, they came up in the clutch and they could knock out a ton of points.
Yeah.
But they, for the most part, they promoted that teamwork. But I wish I could remember the year and that team that Phil Jackson, when he was a player, that championship game was just an amazing thing to watch. You'll never close your mouth.
Yeah.
It's just an amazing thing to watch about team effort. And again, that's what the Democrat Party hates.
Well,
they hate that team.
I mean, you say that as a blanket statement. I don't know that everybody in the Democrat Party hates that, but
if there ever was a true blanket statement, that is one of them.
Well, I don't buy it, but okay.
The America would be best served to get rid of those people.
I don't think it's that simple, but we get I'm more worried about policies and what we're doing and saying just get rid of those people.
America would be best served if we got rid of the Democrat people.
Mike, I think I can't line myself with your thoughts on all that. I can't. I mean, I think we need to work on our own programs, our own policies.
And
stuff
again,
like
I'll have to make the statement then. Name one thing that the Democrat Party has done since the Civil War to advance this country.
Well,
you can't.
Bill Clinton aligned himself with Republicans and did a lot of reforms after the contract with America came in with Newt Gingrich. And they actually made quite a good partnership at that time, and the economy started doing well.
He had to save himself. He had to save himself.
It doesn't matter the why. You asked me when, and that's what happened.
Well, what did Bill Clinton do?
Well, for one thing, it was like the last time we had a balanced budget was Bill Clinton. But they actually did take some terms, and he became He became aligned with what the voters asked for, and the voters overwhelmingly brought in Gingrich and the Contract for America. And Bill Clinton says, "I get it," and he actually worked with them. So I respect that. I do.
All right. That's all. I'm out of gas.
See you, man. Take care. Bye-bye. I'm glad he's out of gas. Man, I'm not getting anything done. I spent too much time on the phone. My apologies. There's a lot I wanted to cover. Let me see. Trump to rally with New York police and highlighting historic coast-to-coast violent drop, which is good. He's going to be with Todd Blanche, and I haven't talked about that, but the Attorney General Todd Blanche, and he is the attorney. He's newly confirmed now, it was real in danger. I'm shocked that he made it. I mean, Trump was able to pull that one off and get it through because 100% of the Democrats said no, which has just been ridiculous. We have Republicans that vote, that recognize that there's a Democrat president and they get to choose their people and actually, hold their nose and help get his people in, with some exceptions. But Todd Blanche is a straightforward good guy. Kash Patel, Todd Blanche, Trump are all going to celebrate federal law enforcement in Nassau County, New York, of all people, on Friday, which I think is great. Going to these blue states, and I know a lot of people are saying about the popular vote, and Trump has set the popular vote the opposite way, because he actually goes to New York, he goes to California. Heck, who went to California after the fires and all the crazy stuff in LA to help out? Was Trump. Trump went there. That's why he won the popular vote. Of course, the LA mayor lied to him. Wasn't going to help build. I mean, Trump was ready to help. He says, let's get the permits going. Let's get the building going. Let me help you. And she didn't do a damn thing. And they're still not building in California. But anyway, he plans on highlighting how much the crime rate has shifted in the United States. It's the largest year-to-year decrease in violent crime since the FBI began recording crime statistics in 1936. It's an 18.1% drop in murder and non-negligent manslaughter, an 18.5% drop. Let me see, 7.6 drop in robberies, decrease in rapes, 7.2% decline in aggravated assault. Burglaries dropped by an estimated 15.8%. Larceny decreased by 9.8%. Motor vehicle theft declined by 22.7%. Just enforcing laws, arresting people that are breaking the law. White House spokesman Lauren Biss. President Trump will visit Nassau County Police Academy to do a rally with cops. President Trump promised to make America safe again, and the data proves he has done just that. Spokesman also says, unlike defund the police Democrats, President Trump will always stand with our law enforcement officers and deliver safer American neighborhoods. Far left movements push to get rid of law enforcement entirely. It's been a banner week for the Trump administration in the way of successful crime reduction announcements. It's been 1 year since Trump's deployment of the National Guard to Washington, which has been a huge. I really want to go to Washington right now to visit. I mean, with the safety, the fountains are working, the thing's cleaned, except for somebody just graffitied World War II memorial, I understand. I'm sure that'll be taken care of before I could get there. Patel said that D.C. is safer than it's been in decades thanks to deployment and a surge of federal authorities in the city. Last summer, President Trump made a historic decision to surge federal resources in Washington, D.C. to crack down on crime. And thanks to his brilliant leadership, the work of brave FBI agents and our law enforcement partners and the support of our Justice Department, our nation's capital is now safer than it's been in decades. And keep in mind what it looked like under Biden, under Obama. It's got a mayor. They were running it with the police department and pretty much doing anything they could to embarrass the nation as a whole. BLM riding on the streets, all kinds of stupid stuff. promoting thugs and criminals. And now it's one of the safest places. And it needs to stay that way. I hope we can keep it that way. It needs to be a safe place so everybody can visit D.C., visit the Smithsonian after they get it cleaned up from the wokeness, and keep it that way. See, Kash Patel said that law enforcement partners made 6,000 arrests, nearly 2,000 drug seizures, over 1,300 illegal firearm seizures over the year-long span just in D.C. The federal resources will remain in D.C. for the foreseeable future. The greatest country on earth should have a capital city reflected where American taxpayers can live, visit, and petition their government without fear of violent crime. Perfect. I don't know why the left would not want that, but somehow they don't mention it, or they do like it. There was a article here. Okay, this is the one I want to see about DEI. Donald Trump's State Department is dumping the Biden era guidelines, which is DEI department. I mean, the diversity, equity, inclusion. It's not over. It's not over. State Department spokesperson. I mean, they just went underground. They hid. They're blending in, I guess, the best they can, and still operating, thinking that we'll wait until Democrats take over and we'll march out the DEI again. State Department spokesman Tommy Pigott said, under the Trump administration, America's diplomats are tasked with advocating for our national interests on the world stage, which is good. This is the State Department, ambassadors and stuff, not demonstrating adherence to woke political dogmas. Now, under the previous administration, directing employees to peddle woke gibberish in high-level discussions at bilateral dialogue with foreign counterparts. It was part of the program, the requirements. A document they just put out, he said, do front offices routinely raise social inclusion, racial gender equality, disability, and LGBTQ plus issues with high-level host country interlocutors, specifically in countries where there's issues or problematic, and these issues include in bilateral dialogues whenever appropriate. A front office is the immediate leadership. That's it, the front office. When they say front office, they mean the leadership. The immediate leadership and executive staff suites for a specific state bureau. They call it the front office. The document says, do you speak up in the moment to support colleagues and try to help all understand when there might be a bias that undermines inclusivity? They put this into requirements of actions. This includes actively working to break down not just race, ethnicity, gender, LGBTQ plus disability biases, and also biases among the civil service and foreign services, U.S. direct hires, and contracting colleagues, and with foreign service cones. And this is what the State Department that's supposed to keep, relationships with other countries and all that. They were pushing. I had no idea. I mean, we know they did it in the military, and we know they did it in a lot of government agencies and all that, but actually use the State Department to push it worldwide. And they demanded that employees take initiatives to learn DEI on their own instead of depending on others, particularly others from historically marginalized groups, to help them. They documented demand that front offices, which is the leadership, ensure each employee supported a DEIA council, or if the leadership did not have a council, support the creation of one. How is bias discussed and mitigated both with the mission and the interaction with the host nation? What type of localized DEI training are being developed to engage all job categories, both U.S. direct hires, local employees, staff, and posts? Is there a channel for locally employed staff, entry-level officers, and other groups sometimes excluded from interaction with senior staff to be able to share ideas or give commentary on how to advance DEI more effectively? These are requirements within the State Department that they're still getting out. They're still finding this stuff and dumping it. Pigott said that under President Trump's leadership, the State Department is solely focused on meeting the demands of diplomacy, not playing political games. The State Department's implementing sweeping reforms to the Foreign Service to prioritize merit, refocus training on tangible diplomatic skills, and prepare our nation's diplomats to deliver America's answers to our most pressing challenges. Good for him. Good for them. I never would have thought that would have been a problem. That our diplomats were charged with pushing DEI on the countries we had diplomatic ties with. I don't know if they laughed at us or not. I don't know. Quite possible. Quite possible they did. I started covering this the mental health crisis before Mike called, and I got sidetracked. My apologies. 48% of it is telehealth, which I think is terrible. This Jennifer Tufts that is helping Lindsay Clancy, just to bring you up to date on the murder trial, where she was helping her before she murdered somebody. In fact, the final appointment that Lindsay Clancy, before she murdered somebody, or I think it was her children or something, she met with Jennifer Tufts the day before the killings. And they never met in person. I'm sorry, never met in person. She was a primary psychiatrist on telehealth with her, never met in person. And maybe that's the way the industry is working now. I don't know. I'm shocked by it. I had no idea it was that prolific. I thought telehealth would be good for something like a follow-up or something. I actually used telehealth with one of my docs after my ablation surgery, when they fixed my heart. I had a follow-up 3 or 4 weeks later. He said, "Look, I'm going to be in Phoenix. Do you mind a telehealth?" And I said, "No, I already know you. It's fine." We just did a quick telehealth thing, which is a lot better than me going into the office and waiting in the waiting room anyway. But I don't think that's initial, and I wouldn't think I'd discuss anything heavy with him. But anyway, they did that. Clancy's defense attorney, Kevin Reddington, was questioning the psychologist, Jennifer Tufts. Said, "Did you ever suggest to her that maybe you should come in and see me rather than on the computer?" I guess that's a good question for a defense attorney, trying to explain why she murdered. Tufts said, talking to her over the video didn't seem like an issue. It didn't seem like there was something I was missing. I got the impression she was very new. She's very young, very new. Jonathan Albert, he's a PhD, a New York psychologist, not involved in this case whatsoever. But he made some comments about virtual care in general. He said virtual care can work very well, but that there comes a point where a screen may not be enough. The sicker and more unstable someone becomes, the less comfortable I'd be on relying exclusively on a screen. If someone is becoming suicidal, psychotic, maniac, unstable, unable to function, the clinician has to consider whether that person needs to be seen in person or needs a higher level of care. He's the author of a book called Therapy Nation, How America Got Hooked on Therapy and Why It's Left Us More Anxious and Divided. Therapy made us more anxious and divided. That may be true. There are a lot of people that we see on the news that sees therapists every week, like Rosie O'Donnell or something. I don't think it's made her better. The priority has to be getting an accurate picture on what's going on and keeping the patient safe. Telehealth plays an important function in mental health care, offers many benefits. He's not denying that, and I would understand that. As a provider, I can see far more people in a day doing virtual therapy than I could if I were doing it in an office. It eliminates the commute to therapist's office, which can be a limitation for those with busy schedules. It does also more and better access to care in many cases. But it does have limitations if someone has a severe psychiatric disorder. Someone can pull themselves together for an appointment and look relatively fine for 30 minutes, even though they're falling apart outside of that. I would think they'd want to see him in person. I mean, the psychologist for sure. More appointments aren't necessary, more treatment. So patients getting worse despite frequent treatments. It's a warning sign. And apparently this girl was getting worse with more treatments. More appointments aren't necessarily more treatment. If someone's becoming more suicidal, paranoia, manic, disorganized, aggressive, or simply unable to function. You can't just keep scheduling another video call and assume that's enough. At some point, the treatment plan has to change, whether that means seeing the person in person, getting an emergency evaluation, or moving them to a higher level of care. It's helped a lot of people get care who otherwise might not. Limitations. And do they have a plan? Do they have access to weapons or other legal issues? And the therapists need to be direct to ask the following questions. Have they done anything recently to suggest the risk is escalating? If someone says they would just want to die, that's one thing. It's very concerning. But if they have to plan, say, a weapon or pills that brings to the next level, certainly warrant intervention, whether it's through the police or an emergency service. If someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, please contact the National Suicide Hotline. And if sometimes you need information from family, other people in a patient's life, because the patient may not be giving you the whole picture, get in front of somebody. Obviously, with postpartum psychosis, there may be delusions, disorganized thinking, hallucinations. And if that's what's going on, definitely warrants inpatient treatment. Telehealth itself is not the problem. It's helped a lot of people get care who might otherwise not get it. The bigger issue is whether the clinician's going through an assessment and whether the level of care still fits the patient's condition. A good clinician can identify serious risk over the video, but at the same time, someone can miss serious risk sitting across from a patient in office. The sicker and more unstable someone becomes, the less comfortable I'd be relying on exclusively a screen. And that's a guy obviously with a lot more experience, a lot more help, but I didn't know it existed that big. And a lot of people need help, to sort things out and to do it. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in that. Please get it. But the telehealth thing, I question it. Small town is, I need to call my sister. Come and think of this. Yeah, my sister, she lives in Peoria, Illinois. And Peoria, Illinois just had the winner of the $1.04 billion in the Powerball lottery ticket, small town. John Marshall, 47 years old, not the winner. He's the manager of the Hy-Vee Gas Fresh and Fast convenience store in Quincy, Illinois. So he got a phone call at 3 a.m. I got a phone call from the other gas station manager in town. He woke me up and said, "You sold the winning ticket." He said, "Now it's like a murder mystery. You got to figure out who it was." It was like, wow, you sold the winning ticket. And why that's a big deal? That store gets $500,000 cash bonus for selling the winning ticket on Wednesday. That's kind of cool. I'm sorry. It wasn't Peoria. It was Quincy, Illinois. Quincy. My sister lives in Peoria. Okay, she didn't buy it. I'm not going to call my sister today. It was Quincy, right there on the Mississippi River. I know Quincy. When I lived in Mount Sterling, Illinois, Quincy was the closest big town to have a movie theater because we closed ours in Mount Sterling. We had to go to Quincy. And Quincy only has 39,000 residents. And that was the big town. Yeah, we go up to the big town. $500,000 cash bonus for that store, that one store. Second largest lottery prize ever. Here's the chances of winning a Powerball. 1 in 292.2 million tickets. So if you bought 292.2 million tickets at $2 each, that's $500,000. You'd be guaranteed a win. I guess so. Not $500,000, $500 million. I'm sorry, $500 million. You could have won $1 billion if you spent $500 million buying every single ticket. Unless somebody else bought the same ticket, and then you'd have to split it, and you'd break even, except for all the taxes. If you do win the $1.04 billion jackpot, you don't get the cash. You don't get $1 billion cash. you get paid over 29 years. So 30 payments over 29 years. Or they cut you a check, one-time cash payment of $450 million. Yeah, it's a nice day when you get $450 million. Of course, it's destroyed some people that can't handle it, don't know what it is, don't know what to do with it, but I'd like to give it a shot. So they're trying to figure out who won it. But under Illinois rules, anyone winning $250,000 or more can request that his name or her name and municipality of residence remain confidential. If I were given advice to the winner of this lottery ticket, I would keep it confidential forever. I wouldn't tell anybody. Don't tell them. As much as you'd want to say, guess what? I won the lottery ticket. Don't tell them. You're going to get a lot of unwanted phone calls. The recommendation from the lottery, if you have the ticket, sign it immediately because you don't want to lose it or have it stolen. Sign it and get it turned in like now. Don't leave it sitting on the kitchen table. Don't tell your friends you want it. It's on my kitchen table. I don't know when I'm going to turn it in. Don't do that. Don't. Get it out of your hands, man. Get on record. A little story about Marco Rubio. Little Marco. As he was known by Trump during the, days that he was a competitor for the presidency. Little Marco. He's been doing just a great job. I mean, he's really, I think, universally been embraced as doing a great job. If anything, some of the press picks on him so much, like he does too much. Like, well, you're handling 2 jobs, you're handling 3 jobs and stuff like, because Trump has him doing a lot. Well, that started a whole meme out there where a meme where people will use artificial intelligence and dress him up as an astronaut, RoboCop, an Easter bunny for the White House. Cardinal Rubio, the leader of Greenland. Rubio, let me see, with slumped on a couch in the Oval Office, asleep, I think. And that was actually a real picture. I don't think he was asleep, but he was slumped. Apparently, if there's no pillow, it's hard to sit up on that couch. Trump signed the picture in gold ink with an endorsement, "You are great." They had him dressed up as the Ayatollah, Iranian Ayatollah. Several imaginary memes. I mean, there's been so many out there that he just received a framed collage of all these memes as a birthday gift. It was gold framed and put all these collages together of all the different things that he's supposed to do, which is just hilarious. Even showed him as Rubio dressed to take over the country in Maduro, in Venezuela when Maduro was captured. Minnesota Tim Walz announced he would not seek re-election. Rubio turned up in a blazer and orange hunting gear and a shotgun and everything to take his place. In a meme, not in reality. Which is just hilarious. And I haven't seen the collage. I'd like to see that. I think that's I'm sure it's going to be out there somewhere on the internet. He said, if you don't have a pillow behind your back, you kind of sink. He was explaining he hates the picture. He hates the one when he's all slumped. I guess he's always had good posture. He's always holding himself up. And then he slumped. He says, even then it turned into another thing. And it's fine. And it's funny. I don't think he thinks so. But very nice. Very nice for Rubio. Many people talk about him being President Rubio at some point between him and Walz. And they may run against each other, and that's fine too. That's okay. And they're friends. They're friends. And they may run against each other at some point. Oh, great article here. I'm glad I didn't. I'm going to get to this one. This article is about education. And at the top of the article, it starts saying, follow the money. Follow the money in American education. And the question is, does the money follow the students? Does it follow the children? Or does it follow the institutions? Does it serve adult interest? Or does it benefit the student? Great questions. Great questions. And we've been struggling with that. As we have students that are struggling, and everybody wants more money to fix it. More money. If we put more money into education, we'll get better results. Not true. And this article points that out. New York City, one of the striking examples. Department of Education in New York City, this is just New York City, spent $40 billion. That's the budget for education, New York City. Comes out to $36,000 a student. So they spend more than we spend. We spend about 14, 15,000 per student, like a little less than half of that. And we get better results in New York even. It is it says one of the highs in the nation. I don't know who's higher, but it says one of the highs. But their literacy is horrible. Recent reports show 503 out of 906 New York City schools that most students failed both reading and math exams. The state data said only 29% of 8th graders were proficient in reading. That means 7 out of 10 of the students can't read a grade level. Despite the 36,000 a student, you spend 36,000 on a kid you think you could read. It doesn't make it better. You got a bad program, bad policies. I don't care how much money you spend. It's the nation's highest funded school systems are one of them. And schools are, students struggling. Chicago's the next example. They had an increase of 43% in Chicago students, increase in funding. 43% of the students in grades 3 through 8 met reading proficiency standards in 25, and just 27 reached proficiency in math, 27%. 43 reached it, efficiency in reading, and 27 in math. Among 11th graders, they dropped 40% in reading, 25% in math. They also have chronic absenteeism. The percentage of students with chronic absenteeism, 40%. And all this is even after they lowered the standards. So that's one way to fix it. Lower the standards, and everyone does better. That's not even true here. Evidence suggests without structural reform, increasing budgets will not overcome long-standing academic challenges. So they focus on Louisiana's approach, and they say, "Look, let's do it. Let's take a look at Louisiana. They had persistent educational struggles. I can barely understand them talk as it is in Louisiana, but that's the accent. But they had academic problems. The way they fixed it and put it into the right area, they expanded parental choice. Did you hear that word, choice? That's like a bad word to a Democrat in Arizona. Choice, student choice, educational choice. They hate it. That's what saved Louisiana. They ranked first nationally in reading growth, not reading overall. Reading growth reported record high student achievement, more students meeting or exceeding grade level expectations than ever before. Gains are especially notable in many states still struggle to recover from pandemic-related learning losses, and the pandemic killed us. It did. It destroyed us. Republican Governor Jeff Landry and Superintendent Cade Brumley embraced the principle that education funding should follow the student, not the systems. And I know Mike asked me, what did our Republican governor give us here in Arizona? Ducey, he was big on that. He did that on day one. I remember when Ducey was elected, and he called for a meeting at the football stadium. He had a big announcement on education. So I went there. I drove to Phoenix and sat there with a few of the media and stuff. And his whole deal was the money needs to follow the student. And he used an example of a backpack. He said, students wear a backpack. We should put the money in the backpack. Wherever that backpack shows up for school, that's the school that gets the money. Simple system. The government, the state of Arizona, is collecting money from taxpayers to pay for education. Let the students decide where they need to get educated, or the parents of the students. And that backpack carries it with them, carries the money with them. And that's what we have. We had one of the ESAs, one of the biggest school choice programs in the nation, envied by many states, and our Democratic government's trying to kill it here in Arizona. We need to not let that happen. Funding should follow students, and that's a philosophy embodied in the Louisiana Giving All True Opportunities to Rise. Legator, they call it, Legator Scholarship Program, Legator. The state's expanding charter school sector. Legator program enables eligible families to direct education funds towards private tuition, tutoring, therapies, textbook, curricula, dual enrollment, and other tailored educational services. The state's charter schools enroll roughly 1 in 8 public school students. 1 in 8. I don't know what Arizona is. Charter enrollment has grown over 9% since 22. Traditional district enrollment has declined. Now, they're not anti-government schools. They're pro-choice and competition. And that competition has helped the government schools because they know they have to perform to keep the students in the seats. They got to show results. Rather than throw money at it, they just let the money go with the kids. That's just so much better. Florida offers a robust long-term evidence, and this is evidence. And I sent this article to Tim Dunn this morning and to Nick, I think, and Mike Carbone, because I know they fight for ESA every day. I know they fight for it. And a lot of the questions that comes up, is there evidence-based that school choice is helping students perform better? Well, Florida does have it. Long-term evidence supporting school choice. Its school choice programs have existed for over 20 years. So they have a background, they have a record. We're not that old yet. Universal educational choice statewide. Studies revealed that public school facing greater competition from scholarship programs showed improved academic achievement, reduced absenteeism, fewer disciplinary incidents. Competition has boosted outcome, not only for students using choice programs, but also those staying in traditional public schools. I think it's helped in Arizona already. I think it has. I think public schools have finally stepped up and taken cell phones out of the classroom. I don't think that would have happened if we didn't have choices of private schools that didn't allow cell phones on day one. I think they have to step up for parents to stop exiting, saying, bring some discipline in there. Florida's charter, and we're not good yet, we're just better. Florida charter schools reinforce this story that the largest Florida Department of Education report shows charter school students outperformed their district peers in 55 of 77 statewide academic comparisons. More than 400,000 students are enrolled in Florida charter schools today, reflecting record growth and rising family demand for alternatives within the public system. Florida charters earned an overall state accountability grade of A, with 61% receiving an A and 78% carrying either A or B, significantly outperforming statewide averages. Critics argue school choice undermines public education. And that's the critics. And the critics are going to say the same thing in Arizona. They say it all the time. Governor Hobbs, as well as all the Democrat leaders are like, it's undermining, it's ruining education, it's bankrupting. I think they've given up on the bankrupting. When it gets pointed out more and more again every time that we spend less money per student on ESA than we do on public education. We just do. It's just a fact of life. $7,500 max on the average student that goes into, ESA, which is homeschool, charter school, private school, 15,000 on a public school. It's just the math. You can't say it's bankrupting us.
Mad Mike.
Mad Mike, this is the third time. What's up, man?
No, this is my first time today.
Oh, Mad Mike. Oh, I thought this was the Angry Mike. Oh, sorry. What's up?
I wanted to talk about Angry Mike.
Okay.
I was in and out, but what was the word that you didn't want repeated over the air or the Facebook channel?
Absolutely.
The N-word?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh.
And I didn't even want to
word was
discuss
he
it with him. I
talking
said, why? Well, he wants to normalize it and make it available for everybody. And I said, well, you're just crazy. Why would you want to? Who
Okay, so-
cares? I don't care.
So that is the word. You said absolutely not. I'm asking. Was that the
I
word?
thought I misunderstood you. I thought you meant, did we spell it out
No.
and say it? No, we did not say it.
No,
but
no.
the
Well, I got you.
N-word, the racial slang for people of color.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I know. Okay. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
Like I said, I only got bits and pieces of the conversation as usual. But man, that dude is angry. He's
Yeah.
got a lot of good points.
Well, he does it, and he wings me out, but he's so angry at Republicans not capitalizing on such great ideas, such great values, that he's blaming them that you're just not strong enough, Republicans, and you're all bad. But I'm a Republican and I want you to win. I just think it's a bad move. I don't think that's a good campaign slogan.
Well,
We all
everybody
suck, but
makes
vote for me and I'll be
mistakes.
better.
Yes. Yes. And we all suck or bad, make mistakes or whatever, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean you throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay,
Well, no,
on to a new subject.
Yeah, what?
I don't know if Ted is still listening, but the next time you talk to him, remind him that in order for a desalination plant to desalinate water, there's got to be water to desalinate.
We all
I
recognize
don't
that.
know that. Okay, well, he was on the bandwagon with our governor. He mentioned one of the things he wanted her to push was desalination plants.
I do too.
Well, great. In San Diego, all along the California coast, where there's ample salty water, I don't know what you're going to do here.
There's a
when we're
couple.
already at
There's a
drought
couple. There are a couple
conditions.
plans. You just mentioned one of them, and the other one be in Mexico. That doesn't mean that we can't benefit from those plans.
No.
And
No.
yeah, that we don't have to be on the ocean to benefit from it. And
No,
but we
I
could.
don't think we're getting any more out of the Colorado River, buddy,
What do you mean? Why would we not?
because it's all allocated.
Well, exactly.
And
You're exactly right. But Arizona could get more out of it if California drew nothing.
wow, that's not likely to happen.
Well, no, it would take a lot of work. And the only way
Okay, well, what if they had? Go ahead.
the only way it would happen is if we could help them receive water through desalination, which would mean we'd have to partner with it and they actually pay for some of it so that they, in essence, buy their allotment by investing in desalination to replace the water that we take off.
Okay,
Yeah.
you got me on board, buddy. I'm
Okay.
driving. I'll talk to you later.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye. Yeah,
Bye.
that could be a plan. And that's been discussed. And of course, desalination is expensive, but not as expensive as it used to be. And it's not, I think it's around 200 an acre foot now, and it used to be 2,000 an acre foot. So it's becoming almost, what it costs to pump it, probably from the Colorado River to LA. You probably could desalinate it for about the same price. And we're just not pushing it. We're not looking at it and finding real solutions because it takes a long time. It takes years to build a desalination plant, get it done. Well, the sooner we start on it, the sooner we get relief, buddy. The sooner we do. And the prospect of our economy dying because we can't grow vegetables or we can't build, we can't golf. All of a sudden, $200 an acre foot sounds pretty good. Let's talk to Gilbert. Good morning.
Hey, I missed part of your show because I was out at Izzy's this morning.
Good.
But yeah, that guy, Angry Mike, you know, he reminds me of Carvel. That's what he reminds me of.
Carlo.
Carvel.
Oh, Carvel. James Carvel. The
Yeah.
lizard man. Yeah.
Yeah, Lizard Man or Cajun, Raging Cajun.
He is that.
Yeah,
He's that. He's entertaining, but yeah.
You know, it just there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now. I'm looking at the governor and her pick for her lieutenant governor,
Right.
former Republican.
Correct.
I saw something on Facebook the other day. All the stuff that he's involved with while he was a Republican. He's been to Democratic functions, a whole bunch. He's anti-border, anti-ESA, anti-yada, yada, yada. I mean, he fits the Democrat. I mean, he does.
Correct.
But he was supposedly a Republican.
He left the Republican Party long before he turned his card in. But that's okay. She can pick him, and she thinks that's going to probably help her. Like I picked a Republican, but I don't think so.
That's exactly what it's all about. So, I mean, she's actually pretty dumb. She really is. Now, she's where she's at right now because she's been following the guidelines of the Democratic Party and the Socialist Party. So they're bringing people of Arizona. You need to realize they're bringing socialism into Arizona more and more and more. We got Grijalva that embraced socialism as her father in Tucson.
Yeah.
So we need to knock these people out. We need to. I mean, I believe what's the ideal plan to get people of the Republican Party to go out and vote? What is our game plan for that, Russ? I mean,
there's multiple, but a lot of it is just groundwork, knocking on doors. A lot of it is phone calls. A lot of it's actually going to be help with Elon Musk is putting money into it, as well as Turning Point is putting money into it, and the organization is going to be done a lot with the Republican Party as it has been done. But a lot of it's going to be doing that. There's going to, and we're doing a fundraiser on Sunday. September 7th. I think September 7th. Right. And that's bringing in Scott Jennings, the governor, and all that stuff. And,
but you know what?
And you're thinking that doesn't help? That does help. Yes.
No, I don't.
Well, then you and I disagree strongly. I think the more interest that we
let me finish, Russ? Can you let me finish?
Go right ahead. You finish up, my friend. Go ahead.
The thing is, it's $75 a plate. How many of your ordinary Republicans or civilians can afford $75?
Every single ordinary civilian that wants to go.
$125 for a husband and wife.
Not every civilian's going to go. And there's only room for about 200. But the fact that he's coming to town, the fact that we're going to talk about it, the fact it's going to be here is going to be a big deal.
I think it's a great deal. I'm not. You see, you're thinking I think it's a bad idea. I never said.
Well, when you ask us how many can afford it, I think you think negatively about it. Yes.
No, you think that.
Yes, I do. I think so.
I didn't think that.
Okay.
Okay. You're putting words in my mouth. I'm trying to help us out. But what we really need to do, like right now, we need to get Grijalva out of there. How much are we putting in to help Daniel Gutierrez?
I have no idea. Do you?
Well, no, I don't. That's what's scary.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't know how much money we're putting into Biggs right now. I don't know how much money we're putting into any of them, let alone Gutierrez. I don't know.
Oh, why? How come you don't know?
Well, because I don't look at the financials that closely. I mean, that's not really something I do. I can look at it. I'm sure I'll get some reports eventually.
You're the first vice chair of our GOP here in Nemo,
you're
right?
You're exactly right.
You have that information for us.
You're exactly.
And I'm not putting you down.
No,
I'm not putting you down.
I don't have that money available. I don't have those numbers available. I don't know if anybody does it as of yet.
Well, it's pretty close to election.
You're right.
We should.
And the fundraisers are going on still. We'll see
Yeah,
how
well,
much
yeah,
was able to be allotted.
yeah, but again, I'm not putting you down, Russ, at all.
Oh, that's
I'm
fine.
just bringing out
I don't take it
what-
as any of that. I don't.
good because
But
I'm
if you
worried.
expect me to know
I'm
those
worried.
numbers, I don't. Um,
Well, I do expect you.
I don't
I
expect
do.
don't expect me to have
Because-
that. I
because
don't
you
even know. I don't
are
even know if it's
inside check.
I don't think it's available yet. When somebody says how
Oh.
much money's going to go to Gutierrez, I don't know who would have that number.
Yeah, all I know is we need to get her out of there. It'd be very monumental if we got her out of Congress. It would be something that Arizona needs.
We said that
bad.
every election cycle with her dad too. It would be great. It would
Yeah, I
absolutely
know,
be
but
great.
We know that when all that was put up, that district, I believe the Republicans and the Democrats got together to ensure that Grijalva would be winning. That was part of the piece of the cake that they gave.
Not
the
necessarily
Democrats.
true. They said to a Democrat would win. They put it together as a heavy Democrat registered district.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's not. I just said that.
Not Grijalva. I mean, Grijalva wouldn't even thought of when they.
Is he a Democrat?
Correct. But he wasn't running when it was first formed. It was formed as a brand new
Well,
district. It didn't have anybody.
I understand that, but you and I both agree it was made to favor a Democrat.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay.
It
So-
still
so
is.
what-
It's still heavy registered Democrat.
Yeah, all I'm saying, Grijalva got in there because of that.
Correct.
That's all I'm saying. We both agree why it was put there, but
Right.
but the Democrats back then weren't like the Democrats of today at
What-
all. And Grijalva was one of the ones that started changing how Democrats think and work.
Right.
We used to work together, I believe, back in the day.
There's still hopefully a little bit of that, but what's
yes.
the district still has heavy registered Democrats, still a heavy
Yes,
load.
yes.
And God bless Daniel wanting to take it on and make a difference, and he does just that. He does.
Yeah. No, the bottom, whether it was Daniel or anybody else, we need to get that Democratic hold out of the state of Arizona because it's socialist.
Right.
You know it, and I know it.
Well,
And
Democrats
it's communist.
Democrats are turning socialist, yes, and they're doing that.
Yes.
Self-admitting doing that.
Yeah.
But I don't know
that's why
I don't know the answer to that district. I don't know how much money it would take. I don't know how much. I mean, to be able to
And
come
I
up with a
agree with that.
game plan to beat the Democrats in that district is a big deal, and it would take people from Tucson to analyze it because I can't analyze what's going on there. But it is a tough nut, and God bless Daniel for taking it on, and he should get support. You're right.
He should. And the thing is, we need, I mean, it's a long drive to Tucson for me and for anybody else to go up there to support him. It is. And I'd love to be up there if I don't know if she decided to go with that open house tomorrow. I don't know.
I don't know.
If I could go, I would go there myself, check things out. But there's a hanging load up there.
Right.
And I hope because all this abortion crap that's coming out, and there's a lot of Christians up there in Tucson that they're seeing their way.
What abortion crap? What are you talking about?
The abortion they passed in Massachusetts and
yeah,
the
in
Democratic
Massachusetts,
Party that's supporting it, yeah.
Right.
And the Democratic Party that supports that crap here in Arizona, it's all part of the plan. It's all part of the Democratic plan, the socialist plan, to disturb our Christian beliefs. I believe that. I believe that.
Probably true, but I don't think we have anything on the docket right now with the Democrats trying to promote it. I don't think.
No.
Okay.
They got other stuff.
Okay.
They got other stuff.
All right.
And as long as we can help the people understand their policy on socialism and communism and open borders and all this other garbage they're trying to, and boys and girls bathrooms.
Right.
As long as we're able to push them and convince people, and that's what we need to do, convince the people over there in that district that boys and girls bathrooms is bunk.
Well, it's a problem. It's causing problems, and we want to support and actually protect women and protect girls, and that's it.
Right.
You know,
right.
I was out of time 4 minutes ago. I let you go on because I didn't want to cut you off, but I got to run.
You're the man. Hey, you're the man, dude.
All right,
I'll
buddy.
get you in the room. Hey, Little League, huh? Bye.
Take care, man. I'll be back Monday. Have a great weekend. Russ Clark at Mortgage One Studios.